Hello there, nerds, and welcome to a special episode of Go To There, all about Mean Girls. As always, I'm your host, Curtis Stone, and joining me is...
David Amick.
And we're going to do something a little bit special for the 15th anniversary of Mean Girls, which is, as of you hearing this, 15 years old officially, April 30th, 2019. We both really love this movie. I think we just have an infatuation for it, being Tina Fey fans, and just sort of... I mean, we were definitely older than the targeted audience for it when it came out.
I wasn't. I was actually a junior in high school when this movie came out, so
I was comparatively.
It was right on target for me.
Well, by this time, all right. So it comes out 2004. You're a junior in high school, so you are the actual age of the characters. Yeah. Well, the actors are a little bit older than the characters, but the characters are juniors in high school. I had graduated the year before, so I'm out of high school. But I do... I guess we will just hit the real quick specifics of... directed by Mark Waters, who, as far as I can tell, I don't think he's done anything else that I've seen. His previous work from this was Freaky Friday, which obviously he worked on Lindsay Lohan with. So in this, we've got Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Lacey Chabert, Amanda Seyfried making her debut, Lizzie Kaplan, Daniel Franzese, Jonathan Bennett, Tina Fey, Tim Meadows, Amy Poehler, Anna Gasteyer, Neil Flynn, just a ton of people in this, either from SNL or around that same improv group that Tina Fey come out of, Second City. Just a ton of people in this movie. A perfect high school movie, I think, of the early aughts. I would honestly, I know you haven't seen this movie because you're a monster and you have bad tastes, I guess, but I would put this up there with The Breakfast Club in terms of just being a fantastic high school movie, a growth movie. I think it is super subversive in what expectations are of a high school movie as well as what you expect from this movie. I've seen this movie a dozen times and I still kind of forget some of the stuff that happens just because it doesn't go exactly where you think it's going to go every time. I think it's a lot of fun and it sort of plays with tropes a lot. And
it holds up very well, I would say, in 2019.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's some stuff that is kind of like...
Well, I mean, some of it is of its time.
Right.
It, as a whole, it holds... Like, a lot of the jokes still hold up well.
Yeah, yes. And, I mean, just the overall message, honestly, is still... Yeah. I mean, obviously, we haven't been in high school in 14, 15 years, but I still have to imagine there is this idea of women scheming and sort of backstabbing one another, and popularity still runs, and there's this hierarchy and all of this. I still think that is rampant in high schools. Again, I don't know.
Well, now, yes, because now you can bully with social media and the internet.
I think it's more immediate.
Which people didn't really do.
Yeah, it's more immediate bullying as opposed to, and there's still like an anonymity to it, but it's still, I think it's more instantaneous rather than taking days or weeks to find it. But, yeah, I think Mean Girls still holds up. I think it's fantastic. And obviously because this is a movie, it's a 90-minute movie instead of a average 21-minute episode of 30 Rock, this will be a little bit longer. We will try and cut it down, just sort of hitting the bullet points and hitting the important stuff. But we do have a lot to talk about here. So any final thoughts before we get started? Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, a couple things actually.
Okay.
So when did you first see it? Like, right, we came out in movie theaters.
Oh yeah,
like after it went to
the history.
DVD?
So 2004, I was in my very early. Everything is dumb and popularity is stupid. Like I was just a very dumb. I was almost scene kid, but not full on committing to the scene kid motif, just because I was poor and didn't have the money to invest in all of that jewelry and all that fun stuff that comes with it. But I do remember seeing trailers for this and being I think the marketing for this movie was off. I don't think it was right for what it was actually trying to say, what the movie is about. Obviously, you know, it was on about it being a high school movie, but I think it was all presented in this like really pink and bright and bubbly that it masked the underlying themes of what it really was trying to say in the actual movie. So I was kind of rebellious to it. I didn't really want to watch it. But I did eventually get around to it. And this was 2004. So this is around the time I started working at the movie theater. So I just thankfully got to watch it for free. So I did eventually get to see it. And this was also the last VHS that I've ever bought. So that also dates me as well as technology. I remember being in FYE And I was with my mom at the time, and she was like, "Did you see anything you wanted?" I was like, "Oh yeah,
Mean Girls."
And VHS was like really on that dying cusp of just like we're gonna stop selling these eventually. So I was like, "Yeah, Mean Girls," and then I went home and watched it again and re-loved it. So I was cynical, but I'm honestly what sold it is because at this time Lindsay Lohan was in her like to me insufferable phase. You know, Freaky Friday. She was the Disney kid. This was her first post-Disney film she had done. You know, she was the bubbly Disney star. She was, you know, super clean and blah, blah, blah. But being a big fan of Tina Fey, I was like, I pretty much have to see anything Tina Fey's involved in. And I love Amy Poehler, and she's attached to it, so I'm in. And I was super pleasantly surprised, and I loved it. And what about you? Where'd you fall in love with it?
To be honest, I don't remember much about the marketing around it. Like, all I remember is knowing about it and being interested in it and like knowing that I wanted to go see it. And I remember because I saw it in the theaters like right after it came out, because I just remember it was around the time like the AP test was coming up or something. So like one of my classes had like a weekend like study whatever session for it. So like a few of my friends, we said that we were going to go to like the study session, then after we were going to go see it. So I saw it within a week or two after it came out, and just remembered, like, I mean, it was like basically instant classic. Like, I mean, we all loved it. Like, you know, obviously lots of the people at school were seeing it. It's like everyone was talking about it, and it just, I mean, obviously, like, it eventually grew into like, I mean, it's amazing how much it still got memed and like permeated like Tumblr culture, considering it came out a good amount of time before those like were actual things. But I mean, it's still, I mean, you still have people quoting it. Like, there are still Tumblrs devoted to putting Mean Girls quotes on top of just like all sorts of random things, from politics to other movies to just bits of culture to, I mean, all sorts of things. So it still has, I mean, you know, the Broadway musical, which is about to start its national tour, just came out within the past year or two. So I mean, to have such a lasting cultural stamp that almost 15 years later, you can still be a huge hit musical. I mean, I think that's a testament to its cultural impact. But the interesting thing is that this was my really first exposure to anything Tina Fey, because I didn't really watch Saturday Night Live. Like, I didn't know. I mean, honestly, like, before this movie, I don't even know if I would have known the name Tina Fey or even Amy Poehler or anything like that.
That's a shame.
I mean, maybe I'd seen Amy Poehler before. I definitely never seen Tina Fey before. I mean, I didn't really know anything about SNL, even though I guess this would have been after the time that Tina Fey was the head writer, or was she still on it?
She would have been on it at this time, because she would have been a head writer and on Weekend Update. So she would have had the clout. I mean, obviously that's what helped get this, and then what this would also, in addition to that, help get 30 Rock off the ground. So, she was building her name, but she'd been on SNL, I think. At that time, she would have been on it at least 7 years, probably on the head writer, I think 2 or 3 years at that time. So, she was building her brand, but to be able to get a movie off the ground and being a head writer of SNL without anything else beforehand is pretty remarkable. Honestly.
Actually, the only episode of SNL I've ever actually seen live was, strangely enough, the infamous Ashley Simpson screw up episode. Like, that's literally the only one I've ever seen live, and like, it was just so funny that was the one. It was because it was sometime, like, I just remember it was during college. Like, it was, I guess I was home on some sort of break, and I remember because my sister was there, and it was like we were up late on a Saturday night, and it was, you know, just whatever, and we're like, oh, we'll just put on SNL, and it was that episode with Ashley. And I just remember watching it, and like Ashley Sims did her thing, like there was the malfunction with the backing tape, she jigged off, and we were just like, what just happened? And like, of course, it blew up into that scandal. But anyway, before I digress too much,
and also this is produced by Lorne Michaels, so she's also got an in when he's kind of producing a lot of stuff. But he's still producing stuff to this day.
And now that I come to think of it, I seem to remember, like, I remember I subscribed to Entertainment Weekly. Like, I feel like
Why?
in high school, and I don't know, I just like to, in high school for whatever reason, but
like,
for some reason I remember it getting, like,
specifically, or your parents?
No, me.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was $10. It was like $10 for a year subscription, so I was working at McDonald's at the time, so I could afford $10. Anyway.
I'm gonna budget my McDonald's paycheck to pay for my entertainment subscription.
For some reason, like, I like, remember seeing, like, I guess they gave it like a really good review or something. So like that was probably what my biggest exposure. Like I remember seeing that, saying, "Oh, that sounds something interesting," and then just like then of course other people wanted to see it, so we just went and saw it.
Did you read the book that the movie's based on, Queen Bees and Wannabes?
No, I haven't.
I knew it was based off a book after the fact. Like I didn't know it was going into it. So, but from what I can tell, the book is not so much like a narrative; is more as just like a guidebook kind of idea. Like it's not really like a story about Katie existing and her story through the year of school. It's more of just like, here's why Mean Girls exists, and here's like steps kind of thing.
Yeah, it's one of the things where I think another example is What to Expect When You're Expecting, where it's like the book is just like a straightforward nonfiction guide, but it was adapted into a fictional story with an actual narrative arc.
Yeah, which obviously Tina Fey did the screenplay for this, so she was pulling off the idea, which I think there's some trivia about, like, she sort of wrote herself in a corner because she was basing it off of a guidebook. There was no narrative in place, so she has to create everything and how these characters interact and how they get from point A to point B and C and D and all that stuff. So, but I mean, obviously, she did a fantastic job. Yeah. I don't think, like, we just watched it before recording, and I still think even knowing the jokes that are coming and the plot points and all of that, it's still. I don't think there's a dull moment in this movie. I think there's no wasted moment. I think everything is flowing from point A to point B perfectly. I don't think there's anything that can be taken out, or it's just
it's pretty tight.
Yeah, I mean, other than just like some stuff that's just like of its time. There's nothing in this movie that's really problematic. Honestly, I think it's still poignant. I think it's great. I think it still holds up 15 years later. So, anything else before we hop into it? All right. So the movie opens with Katie, aka, or I guess Lindsay Lohan, aka Katie / Caddy, as she's sort of often called throughout the movie. Which is funny, like near the end, Lizzie Kaplan actually calls her by Katie, because at the beginning of the movie she says, "I'm going to call you Caddy," like as a friend gesture. Yeah. But when they're having it out and she's calling her the mean girl, she's calling her by her real name, and I think that's her dropping the facade of like, well, we're not friends anymore, so I'm going to call you by your... And I think that was just a nice touch, because every other time through the movie, she's calling her Caddy. And then when it's like, all right, we're not friends anymore, you're Katie and you're a bitch. Like, I thought that was just a small touch. And at first, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, she forgot to call her friend name. I was like, I get it now. There's growth here. It's
a writing trick.
There's moments happening. But Caddy is giving us the backstory. And the backstory is her and her family used to live in Africa, and now her mom has got a job in the States as where's it? It's Stanford, I think.
No, at Northwestern. So they're in a suburb of Chicago. Yeah.
So they had to come back to America, and now, despite being homeschooled for the first 16 years of her life, now she actually has to go to a real school, and it's her explaining how she got to that point, as well as what the expectation of a homeschooled kid is. And I got a couple stories about homeschooled kids I can talk about, but we'll let Lindsay Lohan explain her side of the story real quick.
I guess it's natural for parents to cry on their kid's first day of school, but this usually happens when the kid is 5. I'm 16, and until today, I was homeschooled. I know what you're thinking. Homeschooled kids are freaks.
XYLOCARP. Silent card.
Or that we're weirdly religious or something.
And on the 3rd day, God created the Remington bolt-action rifle so that man could fight the dinosaurs and the homosexuals.
Amen. But my family's totally normal, except for the fact that both my parents are research zoologists and we spent the last 12 years in Africa. I had a great life, but then my mom got offered tenure at Northwestern University, so it was goodbye Africa and hello high school.
So it's first day of school, and Katie is introducing to her classmates, and we meet Lizzie Kaplan, a.k.a. Janice Ian. Fun fact, obviously named after Janice Ian on the SNL. First SNL musical guest. I think we've talked about that on Go To There. Mm-hmm. So, go to that episode, whichever one it was, for that fun trivia. as well as Damien, who give them a little bit of the rundown of what the school has to offer.
Well, I just wanted to let everyone know that we have a new student joining us. She just moved here all the way from Africa.
Welcome. I'm from Michigan.
Great.
Her name is Caddy Heron. Where are you, Caddy?
That's me. It's pronounced like Katie.
My apologies. I have a nephew named Anthony, and I know how mad he gets when I call him Anthony. Almost as mad as I get when I think about the fact that my sister named him Anthony.
Well, welcome, Katie, and thank you, Mr. Duvall.
Well, thank you. And if you need anything or if you want to talk to somebody...
Thanks. Maybe some other time when my shirt isn't see-through.
Okay. Good day, everybody.
I feel like that's a very 30 Rock-esque joke.
Oh, yeah. Very on point for what we know Tina Fey to be.
Yeah.
So you mentioned what we wanted to do, just for fun, is do like a sort of, Mean Girls and then where they've come now. Like where are they now?
What has Tina Fey done since Mean Girls?
Who knows? She fell off. She failed. This was her one shot and she missed it. All right, well, we're going to skip the obvious. Tina Fey, she's done things. Obviously, Lindsay Lohan will go on to this. She would do some bigger things after this. She's on some hard times right now.
Basically, Emma Stone has the career that Lindsay Lohan should have.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan was, I think, a couple years earlier than she needed to be in terms of wanting what Emma Stone has. But I don't wish her luck, but get better, Lindsay. Stop calling people pedophiles and saying that they're trying to sex traffic kids in third world countries.
Well, it's like Emma Stone did her high school
super
comedy.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking Easy A, but I guess super bad too. But then she actually went to the Oscar stuff. Lindsay had Mean Girls, which should have propelled her to that. But then she kind of got into the drugs and such.
She got into the bad. Well, I guess she got mixed up with like all the Paris Hilton stuff.
Oh, that's true.
And just fell in. Yeah. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, fell in with the wrong crowd. Lizzie Kaplan would go on. She would do Party Down. She's just sort of been like a character actress. Yeah. She's done a ton of stuff.
So most notably, probably Masters of Sex, where she got an Emmy nomination for.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, I'd say that and Party Down are probably the most prominent.
Yeah, Party Down's good. If you haven't seen it, please check it out.
It's pretty good. Yeah,
It's in that same vein of like Arrested Development, Office style. It's not so much a mockumentary, but it's just these characters existing. Super fun show.
Yeah, and Daniel Franzese has done a couple things here and there. He did a guest arc on Looking on HBO.
Yeah, sadly,
and he was on
canceled before its time.
Yeah, and he was on the Freeform show Recovery Road, which is one of those shows that it was sort of in the Foster's vein. It was about like a rich girl who gets into like drug trouble or something, so she has to go to a treatment center, and he plays one of the.
Didn't we watch a couple episodes of that? That sounds familiar.
You might
maybe
have.
You were watching it, and it was
you
just in the background. Yeah.
And
I feel like I remember that.
That was one of those shows that they canceled after one season, but really like it was higher rated than a lot of the shows they have now. So it was just really like it was that era, I guess, when networks were still canceling shows pretty fast. They've gotten a lot more conservative since then, but it was a pretty good show. Like it was the sort of thing where if you like the Fosters, like you would probably like that show too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, speaking of Freeform, Mean Girls 2 does exist,
I
and
forgot
it was
that.
a direct TV sequel. I can't speak to it. I don't imagine it's very good. There's a reason we don't reference it anymore or at all. So there's probably a reason. The masochist in me wants to watch it and make you watch it, but I feel like
so when you hit by a bus,
probably
then I'll watch it.
Probably, but I don't hate myself enough to watch it. So. And then Tim Meadows would go on. Well, Tim Meadows, I don't want to say he peaked, but Tim Meadows more famously comes from SNL and has done like character bits in movies more than. I don't think his career has necessarily stagnated, but
he's been on the Goldbergs for a few seasons playing,
and he's on that. He's in the spinoff, right?
Schooled?
He's in that.
Maybe I only watched the first episode and I didn't.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't really remember.
Sure.
He might have been. I think he was the principal or assistant principal or something. So it would make sense that because I think Goldberg obviously takes place in the 90s, or excuse me, Goldberg takes place in the 80s. School takes place in the 90s. So I know some of the staff from the Goldbergs like moved to the spinoff.
Yeah,
so.
I'm pretty sure he's in that. Yeah. So I mean, he's consistently working.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to Rachel McAdams, Amanda Seyfried, and Lacey Chabert as we go on.
As they come up,
Yeah. So, what else we got going on? Well, it's also funny, like, it never really goes too much, at least not outside of the subtle, but there's clearly something between the principal and Tim Meadows and Tina Fey's character. Obviously, he's crushing on her. She's, like, at least not, disgusted by him. So, like, there's sort of, like, this budding romance that is happening throughout, or at least, like, these flirtatious moments that happen throughout, but never really go too far. The ending sort of sets up like maybe they're together, or at least they're friendly enough to start dancing with one another, but it never really goes anywhere. It never really becomes a big plot point throughout. But then we get I always like, I hate cliques, I should say that. I hate cliques, but I like cliques in movies and TV shows because they're always so transparent. They're always very by the books of like jocks, nerds, blah, blah, blah. But I like the breakdown of the jocks in Mean Girls, and like they're very on the nose. Like you have the varsity, the JV, the black pretty people, the Asian nerds, and like
the Asian pretty people.
Pretty people. Like there's just so many like stereotypes out there that it's just like.
Well, it was like it treated it more as like a more complex, like instead of just like the jocks and the nerds. And
and it sort of plays to the strength of like Lindsay Lohan's character in this. The way she's viewing these people isn't as stereotypes. She's viewing them as, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a zoological idea. Like she's viewing them as like packs.
Anthropological.
Like the lions have their territory, the elephants have their territory, the hyenas have. So she's viewing these people not as. This is gonna sound bad. She's viewing them almost as animals as opposed to people. Like they're in their pack, so it's like it's fun. Like, and there's these running gags throughout the episode or the movie, where she's like, "How would this go down in the world of animals versus the world of people?" And it's just in the world of animals, it's just chaos. It's obviously survival of the fittest. Whoever's the strongest survives idea. But she has to convince herself and remind herself like she's not in the world of animals anymore. She's in the world of people and. It is the strongest survives, but how you become the strongest is a different mindset.
Well, but I mean, even so, but they still, I mean, the animal world still functions as a metaphor for
right. But I mean, like
school.
It's more mental than physical in the people world versus the animal world. In the animal world, it is like literally whoever's the strongest physically will survive, rather than in human world, it's mental. Who's ever the mentally strongest for the most part. Or can play the game.
Or just the prettiest.
Or they're just the prettiest, yeah. But we get Lizzie, Kaplan, Janice, and Damien introduce themselves to Katie for the first time.
Is that your natural hair color?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
See, this is the color I want.
This is Damien. He's almost too gay to function.
Nice to meet you.
Nice wig, Janice. What's it made of?
Your mom's chest hair. I'm Janice.
So question,
Hi,
is Janice calling Damien too gay to function a projection of her insecurity about Regina George? Like calling her a lesbian for all those years?
It could be read that way. Because he never officially outs himself and he's never officially admitted that he's gay in the movie. It's kind of based on stereotypes of admitted and just accepted that he is the gay best friend, but it's never fully accepted or addressed that yes, he is a homosexual. So I guess like her saying that, or like I think it's more just like they're friends and so they can joke about it that way.
Well, like I mean I know it's a term of endearment, but like it comes up a couple of times in the movie, like she says something about like, oh, he's outgayed himself this time or something like that.
Yeah.
And, like it's almost like I don't know. I started thinking about it when we were watching it earlier as just sort of not necessarily like terrible homophobia, but sort of just like she's sort of taking out her own frustration about being called, gay herself when she isn't, and she's sort of mad about it, but it's like she sort of projects it onto him. I don't know.
I think that's a possible read. I don't think that is. I think it is just like that's how the friends joked, was like they're comfortable enough, like she can say he's just too gay to function.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, obviously it functions like an inside joke.
I don't read it as her living out anything. I think it's just that's their friendship. It's sort of just based on like little jokes.
Do you guys know where room G14 is?
Health, Tuesday, Thursday, room G14.
I think that's in the back building.
Oh, yeah, that's in the back building.
Yeah, we'll take you there.
Thanks.
out, please. New meat coming through. Health, Spanish. You're taking 12th grade calculus?
Yeah, I like math.
Ew, why?
Because it's the same in every country.
It's beautiful. This girl is deep.
Where's the back building?
It burned down in 1987.
Won't we get in some sort of trouble for this?
Why would we get you into trouble? We're your friends?
I know it's wrong to skip class, but Janice said we were friends, and I was in no position to pass up friends. I guess I'll never know what I missed on that first day of health class.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. Don't have sex in the missionary position. Don't have sex standing up. Just don't do it. Promise? Okay, everybody take some rubbers.
Why don't they just keep homeschooling you?
They wanted me to get socialized.
Oh, you'll get socialized, all right. A little slice like you.
What are you talking about?
You're a regulation hottie.
What?
Own it.
How do you spell your name again, Caddy?
It's Katie. C-A-D-Y.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Caddy.
And now we meet the Plastics, who are respectively Regina George, Rachel McAdams, Gretchen Wieners, Lacey Chabert, and Karen Smith. I hope I got all of those right. Amanda Seyfried. And I like their descriptions that they get. They're kind of just perfect.
In the name of all that is holy, will you look at Karen Smith's gym clothes?
Of course, all the Plastics are in the same gym class.
Who are the Plastics?
They're teen royalty. If North Shore was Us Weekly, they would always be on the cover.
That one there, that's Karen Smith. She is one of the dumbest girls you will ever meet. Damien sat next to her in English last year.
She asked me how to spell orange.
And that little one, that's Gretchen Wieners.
She's totally rich because her dad invented toaster strudel.
Gretchen Wieners knows everybody's business. She knows everything about everyone.
That's why her hair is so big. It's full of secrets.
Hey, what's happening?
And evil takes a human form in Regina George. Don't be fooled, because she may seem like your typical selfish, backstabbing, slut-faced hoe bag, but in reality, she is so much more than that.
She's the queen bee, the star. Those other two are just her little workers.
Regina George. How do I even begin to explain Regina George?
Regina George is flawless. She has 2 Fendi purses and a silver Lexus.
I hear her hair is insured for $10,000.
I hear she does car commercials in Japan. Her favorite movie is Varsity Blues.
One time she met John Stamos on a plane, and he told her she was pretty.
One time she punched me in the face. It was awesome.
So I want to focus here because I think that Rachel McAdams and Amanda Seyfried's performances are probably my 2 favorite in the movie, and that also, it's also like for both of them, it's the only performance I think they've ever given like that. Like they both played a lot of like, I mean, they've done comedies here and there and lighter stuff, but this is, I don't know, just like it's much different from any other roles they've ever played, and like they both like do it like so well. Like they totally saw the characters. Like basically every line that Karen has is hilarious, and like Regina is just like a great. I mean, I don't want to say love to hate because you don't even necessarily like hate her, but it's just like, you know, she just gives like, I mean, she completely like gives like a strong embodiment of that character.
Yeah, I like as the movie went on, like she's not stupid. She's not a stupid mean girl. She's a smart mean girl, but she also is kind of ignorant. Like she makes small mistakes. She does, you know, small things, but she's at the point she is with being a mean girl because she's very good at manipulation. So obviously she has some sort of intelligence. And then the whole twist that comes at the very end regarding the burn book, like we're expected to believe the picture that she's posting is going to be of Katie, and then when she turns it around, she posts a picture of herself. She obviously is very smart, but she just makes small dumb mistakes throughout the movie that are kind of like, well, she is like a rich spoiled girl, but she's not dumb. She's just so comfortable that she might miss some things because of that. Yeah.
Well, she's super manipulative, and I think the reason why that kind of twist works so well when she puts herself in the burn book is because like over the, you know, the however long before that, like she's slowly like been driven out of her queen bee spot. She's gone like become more disheveled and crazier. And it's like, but it's like still that moment's like, oh wait, like, you know, she's still Regina George. Like she still is really clever and can pull out, you know, a move to, you know, just change everything in her favor, even when it seems like, don't ever count her out because she can still come through.
Yeah. So, fun fact, Amy Poehler, at this time of the movie, she would have been 32, and Rachel McAdams, in the making of this movie, I think would have been... I think there's like a 7-year difference between the actresses.
I was kind of thinking because,
everyone's playing much older than, or much younger than they are. They're all in their 20s, the actors and actresses that are playing these roles. They're much older than the actual characters themselves. Yeah, there's a 7-year difference between Rachel McAdams and Amy Poehler. And so Amy Poehler is playing the mother of Rachel McAdams. And she does a fantastic job. And the few moments that Amy Poehler is in this movie, we'll get to her in just a little bit, but the few moments she's in this, she steals every scene. She's the best. I love Amy Poehler. I will die for Amy Poehler. There's nothing I won't do for her.
But while we're here, I guess we should talk about their careers with the Rachel McAdams obviously has, she had a great year in 2004 because Mean Girls came out, and a few months later, The Notebook came out. Yeah. So there was 2 back-to-back, just huge movies, totally different roles. 2 separate
different movies.
Yeah, totally different roles. Both movies were extremely successful, and she kind of went straight into, A-list territory. She was extremely well known.
Man, The Notebook got me. I hate to admit that movie got me because I went in completely blind, and for the bulk of it, I was just like, this is kind of ho hum, romantic, whatever. Yeah. But when it starts wrapping up, I was like, I didn't full on weep, but I was just like, oh man, that did not see that coming. It was super well done. I think Nathan Sparks has kind of milked that way too much.
Nicholas Sparks.
Whatever. Nicholas Sparks. He's milked that kind of incessantly. But I think Notebook was really good. I do think... I don't know how well it holds up, but I think at that time it was kind of a great movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but since then she's done a million more movies. She's gotten at least 1 Oscar nomination for Spotlight.
Okay.
I think but she's done a lot of obviously big.
She's the biggest of this movie. Yeah. She's the biggest star that has come out of it.
Yeah. Amanda Seyfried obviously has done Mamma Mia. Mm-hmm. She did a Nicholas Sparks movie with Channing Tatum.
Yeah. The Love Letter.
Dear John.
I think.
Yeah. And now she's kind of moved into more serious drama roles. She was in First Reformed, which came out last year. It was actually really good in it. I think that's the sort of movie that was so small it didn't get a ton of attention, but if it would have gotten more attention, she gave a great performance in it.
Yeah.
But so she's moved on to more indie and dramatic stuff for the most part. Lacey Chabert does Hallmark movies, I think. Which, not to knock it, because those movies are super popular around the holidays.
They're cheap to make, and they do well enough that they're fine. I think my memory of Lacey Chabert was she was the original Meg on Family Guy.
Oh, really?
She got replaced midway through production season 2 by Mila Kunis.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure if it was just she didn't like doing the role, or if it was a contractual dispute. I'm not entirely sure. But they've poked fun of that over the course of the series. There's an episode where 10 seasons deep, they do a back episode where they're traveling back in time, and they go back to the pilot episode, and they're listening to Meg character speak, and they're like, Meg sounds different, and Stewie is yeah, she sounds like someone who's going to make a really big mistake in their career. Which my Family Guy was before Mean Girls, so obviously Lacey Chabert. Well, Lacey Chabert started on Party of Five, and then would go on to Family Guy.
Okay.
So I think she was the youngest sibling on Party of Five, so she would do that. She would do Family Guy. I assume it was some sort of contractual thing. Then she would do Mean Girls, and then she's gone on to do Hallmark stuff, and I'm sure other things. I don't want to discredit her career.
Yeah,
I haven't really been following her.
Yeah,
so.
I think I first knew her from the Lost in Space remake.
God!
Yeah, she played the
Netflix one, or
No. It was the movie that came out in it would have been a few years before Mean Girls, but she played the sister.
2001, I think.
Sometime around that.
Yeah, I think that was what's his name? Joey from Friends. What's that actor's name?
Matt LeBlanc.
I think that was his first big movie. No. The one with the monkey was his first big movie.
To be honest,
I think Ed was his first big movie, and then Lost in Space was supposed to be the big blockbuster of that year, and it was a big flop.
Yeah.
And even on Netflix, Lost in Space I think was a flop. I think it came and
did they renew it? Everything I heard about it seemed to be bad, but it looked like it was so expensive.
I feel most Netflix shows get renewed within like the weekend of their premiering, and I don't remember hearing that one getting renewed.
Yeah.
So
it depends.
sometimes
immediately, sometimes it's a little bit longer. But
like if it's like a multi-produced thing, it might take a little while to get all the teams on board.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is. I don't think it's gotten renewed just yet. So we now know of the plastics, and now we get to meet the plastics in person as Katie joins them for lunch. Oh, but before we set this up, this joke of buttering your muffin had to get changed to make sure the movie got a PG-13 rating. There's a lot of stuff that had to get in here to get changed to make sure it wasn't an R-rated film. But originally, the character of Jason asking her, is her cherry popped? So they had to change it as your muffin buttered. So
Hey, we're doing a lunchtime survey of new students. Can you answer a few questions?
Okay.
Is your muffin buttered?
What?
Would you like us to assign someone to butter your muffin?
My what?
Is he bothering you? Jason, why are you such a skis?
I'm just being friendly.
You were supposed to call me last night.
Jason, you do not come to a party at my house with Gretchen and then scam on some poor innocent girl right in front of us 3 days later. She's not interested. Do you want to have sex with him?
No, thank you.
Good. So it's settled. So you can go shave your back now. Bye, Jason.
Bitch.
Wait. Sit down. Seriously, sit down. Why don't I know you?
I'm new. I just moved here from Africa.
What?
I used to be homeschooled.
Wait, what?
My mom taught me at home.
No, I know what homeschool is. I'm not retarded. So you've actually never been to a real school before? Shut up. Shut up!
I didn't say anything.
Homeschooled. That's really interesting.
Thanks.
You're like really pretty.
Thank you.
So you agree?
What?
You think you're really pretty?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my god, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Oh, my mom made it for me.
It's adorable.
Oh, it's so fetch.
What is fetch?
Oh, it's like slang from England.
So if you're from Africa, why are you white?
Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
Could you give us some privacy for like 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you should just know that we don't do this a lot, so this is like a really huge deal.
We want to invite you to have lunch with us every day for the rest of the week.
Oh, it's okay.
Coolness. So we'll see you tomorrow.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
So Rachel McAdams' expressions are amazing in the lunchroom scene. Because like when she's saying all those things to Katie, it's like her voice sounds sincere, but like her face, it's like you could always, it's like a level where you can tell she's being a little mocking and condescending, but like it isn't like so much that she's being overtly so like, you know, it comes across as someone.
Right.
It's just like you can see in her eyes that like, you know, she's doing everything for a purpose and it's not very sincere.
Yeah, and we as the viewer who pick up on that know that, but as we're supposed to be Katie in this role, who's been homeschooled, who doesn't know
exactly
sort of the finer social stuff of how you pick up on Mean Girls and stuff like that, she's oblivious to it. And I think the big takeaway next to fetch of this scene is when Rachel McAdams' character says, "You're so pretty," and Lindsay Lohan's response is, "Thank you," which is a normal response that you would give if someone compliments you like that. And then Rachel's response is, "Oh, so you think you're pretty." Like that's giving her this ammunition to be like, "Oh, well, now I can use this against you." And it's just, it's so terrible. It's so vindictive. It's so bad, but it's also like it's fun character.
Yeah.
Like it's a terrible, terrible way to act as a person, but it's fun just seeing this in a character.
Yeah. Also, the clothes are really interesting in the scene because most people in the cafeteria are dressed in normal high school kid clothes. Mm-hmm. Katie is wearing a big old flannel shirt because she doesn't know much about fashion. I mean, it looks good on her, but she, in general, like it's not what you would think of as typically fashionable.
Yeah. She's
meanwhile, Regina is wearing. She looks like she's about to go work at her office job. Yeah. She's wearing a power suit, but it kind of like also exemplifies though she's in a position of power over this group and everyone in the school. Yeah. So it's like. It did kind of sound to me like, oh, she looks like she's going to a job, but in a sense of she is the most power. Like, I mean, she's dressed in like power clothing, and she is in a power position, so it kind of works.
But it's also fun. Like they never like it's clear to that she is she's not necessarily the most popular in terms of like people like her, but she's popular in that she's the most known and the most feared. But it's also like their clique is 3 people. It's no bigger and it's no smaller. It's always 3 people. And I noticed that in previous viewings, but here I was really paying attention to it, and I've always wondered, there has to be a reason why it's never grown or shrunk. You know, like clearly Regina is the head bee, so Karen and Gretchen need a leader. But is there a reason why they haven't added a 4th before Katie? Or if they have, where does that 4th ever gone? Or, you know, was the group at one time larger and more than 3 people? Or has it ever been like, I'm really kind of curious how like Karen and Gretchen and Regina all sort of became a clique, you know, like, was it because they're just all rich and popular? You know, like, well, Gretchen has in terms seemingly the most money because like her father invented toaster strudels. So I imagine he's like a bigger money maker than Regina's dad, who we don't know anything about.
Well, all we know about them is they have a huge house.
They have a gigantic house. So I don't know. Like, there's part of me that just wants to know, like, what's the origin of all 3 of them? Like, how did they become friends, and how did they like? Because if they're all manipulative and backstabbing, how have they coexisted for so long without like destroying one?
So here's how I worked out in my mind.
Okay.
So in middle school, they didn't know each other yet. Regina was best friends with Janice, and so my take is in middle school, Regina and Janice were kind of like the it girls, but it's middle school, so it's not really the same kind of like mean girl structure as in high school. Mean girl so they get to high school. So they get to high school. Regina is extremely good looking, extremely rich, so she's naturally going to be at the top of the hierarchy. So she gravitates towards 2 other girls who are also very, you know, good looking and very rich. There's a reference later to they vote on allowing people to sit with them. So my take is they've had a lot of 4th people, and they get expelled after a couple weeks. Exactly, yeah. So they sit with them for a short period of time, then they decide for whatever reason that they're not good enough to be with them anymore, and then they release them into the wild.
Yeah, they release them to find another group.
Yeah.
But they're also like the least populated table as a result. Like every other table that we walk by, there's either 5 or 6 people. It's either full or nearly full. They're waiting on someone. This table always has 3 or 4 people, and that's it. Yeah. It is always exclusive. Just, like, it's a fun dynamic of just sort of seeing like they stick out for a reason. But yeah, I've always liked that. It's fun. But yeah, Rachel McAdams is the best in this movie, I think, just in terms of acting, subtle acting, playing the part. I think she does the best job.
Yeah.
But now that this is one of my favorite bits. But now that Katie has an in with the plastics, Janice realizes there's some way that we can get back at Regina, and we still haven't learned why Janice is so torn. No, we do know at this time. Or we haven't.
We just know that she hates her, but we don't know.
We
much
don't know
about
the
why.
full reason why Janice wants to. Why Janice would want to get back.
It's good foreshadowing, but unless you know, you don't. Yeah.
So we go to the girls' bathroom.
Oh my God! Okay, you have to do it. Okay, and then you have to tell me all of the horrible things that Regina says.
Regina seems sweet.
Regina George is not sweet. She's a scum-sucking road horse. She ruined my life.
She's fabulous, but she's evil.
Hey, get out of here!
Oh my God, Danny DeVito, I love your work.
That's probably one of my favorite scenes because it's just
so
like,
random.
It's so
but
good.
It's so good.
Yeah, like he's so confident and comfortable in the girls' bathroom, and like to just diffuse the situation. It's just like, oh, you're Danny DeVito. I love you so much. You're so cute. Which Danny DeVito is adorable, and as far as I know, he's not problematic. So
yes, I've heard that he and Rhea Perlman do a lot of good work.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's such a weird coupling for me.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Yes, because they're perfect for each other because they're both kind of like weird characters, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, I mean, they've been together for 20 plus years, and the only time I think we've seen them on screen together was Matilda, right?
I
don't think they've.
That's one thing I can think of.
Yeah. I don't know. It's such a weird power. It's the weird power couple is maybe a better way to think of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Danny DeVito's adorable. He's great.
Why do you hate her?
What do you mean?
Regina, you seem to really hate her.
Yes. What's your question?
Well, my question is, why?
Regina started this rumor that Janice...
Damien! Shall we not? No, look, this isn't about hating her, okay? I just think that it would be like a fun little experiment if you were to hang out with them and then tell us everything that they say.
What do we even talk about?
Hair products.
Ashton Kutcher.
Is that a band?
Would you just do it, please?
Okay, fine. Do you have anything pink?
Yes.
And I guess like we mentioned it sort of in passing, but like Lindsay Lohan really is like a socially inept person, but she still takes to going from a homeschooled kid to, you know, a public school kid very well. You know, like she still has like some idea of like social norms for the most part, and I guess that is maybe like a credit to her parents. Like her parents probably helped, because it seems like they're not like religious fanatics, so like it seems like they have some sort of normal understanding of, or not normal is kind of a bad word to use, but understanding of like social hierarchy or just like normal social etiquette of how you act around people. Did you grow up knowing any homeschooled kids personally?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think, like, I played on soccer teams where there must have been someone at some point who played on there who was homeschooled, but not that I can remember.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do have story. I mean, two of my best friends the whole family we know were homeschooled. Some more than others, just as the family went along. Some more as the younger kids grew up, they were starting public school. But one of our best friends grew up in a homeschooled environment, and I actually met him around the same time this movie came out. We met him around 2004. And it was like a very jarring experience, and it was a comical experience because at the time our little clique of friends had never met anyone who was homeschooled, or at least if they were homeschooled, they didn't have the social standing or the social misunderstanding that he had. Like, he just didn't know basic social etiquette. He didn't know like it's okay to laugh at someone, or it's okay to like make jokes about your friends. Like, if your friend does something funny, you sort of poke fun at it, you make fun of it. Like, it was just like he just didn't read it. But yeah, it's just like, so it was always just really jarring seeing someone like that come into the world. And like, as we know them now, I mean, if you showed them a picture or a video of themselves acting how they were 10, 15 years ago to what they are now, like, they're completely different. They've changed a lot. And they did grow up in a religious household of being homeschooled. So there was a lot of ideas also in terms of where they stood on just sort of, you know, political or ideological, or just
killing the homosexuals.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was a lot of things that were very like taboo or questionable about them. So it's interesting to see that change and to see that dynamic happen over the change or over the course of the years. It's really fun. Other than that, like, that was the first homeschool kid I'd ever met, and I don't think homeschooling is wrong. I think homeschooling is totally fine, but I think there is this idea of like, you need social etiquette also. In addition to being a homeschooled kid, you need to be able to know how to just act around people, whether that be acting normal or whatever. You need both. So like, if you have a homeschool kid who's completely in the home and doesn't get any sort of outside world interaction, I think that's going to be way more detrimental personally and in my experience, versus someone who is homeschooled but still has social outings, like they have a job or they go to various church meetings or something around their community. As long as they're involved in the community, I think that's going to be way better than just completely holding them up and leaving them inside. But enough of my soapbox. Yeah. We get the crush of Aaron Samuels, who's played by
Jonathan Bennett.
Yeah, who, in addition to Damien, has also come out since this movie.
Well, as an actor, yes.
Not in the movie. Not in the movie. Yeah. As a well, not an actor, as a person.
As a person.
As an actor, he plays gay. As a human, he plays straight.
Yeah, and I would say, what has he done since then? I think he's done like bit parts on like the CW. He hosted some Food Network show, like Cake Wars or something.
Yeah. He's gotten regular work, but I don't think.
Also, he was in the Thank You Next Mean Girls homage Ariana Grande video.
God. Oh, that's right. I guess that is the most topical thing that's come out about Mean Girls since this has been Ariana Grande doing that.
Yeah.
I don't like her. But now we're at the Plaxis table for the first time. Well, the first time since Katie's officially part of the Plastics.
Having lunch with the Plastics was like leaving the actual world and entering Girl World. And Girl World had a lot of rules.
You can't wear a tank top 2 days in a row, and you can only wear your hair in a ponytail once a week. So I guess you pick today. Oh, and we only wear jeans or track pants on Fridays. Now, if you break any of these rules, you can't sit with us at lunch. Well, I mean, not just you, like, any of us. Okay, like, if I was wearing jeans today, I would be sitting over there with the art freaks. Oh, and we always vote before we ask someone to eat lunch with us, because you have to be considerate of the rest of the group. Well, I mean, you wouldn't buy a skirt without asking your friends first if it looks good on you.
I wouldn't?
Right. Oh, and it's the same with guys. Like, you may think you like someone, but you could be wrong.
120 calories and 48 calories from fat. What percent is that?
48 into 120?
I'm only eating foods with less than 30% calories from fat.
It's 40%. Well, 48 over 120 equals x over 100, and then you cross-multiply and get the value of x.
Whatever. I'm getting cheese fries.
So, have you seen any guys that you think you're cute yet?
Well, there's this guy in my calculus class.
Who is it? It's a senior?
His name's Aaron Samuels.
No.
No.
Oh, no. You can't like Aaron Samuels. That's Regina's ex-boyfriend.
They went out for a year.
Yeah, and then she was devastated when he broke up with her last summer.
I thought she dumped him for Shane Oman.
Wait, irregardless, ex-boyfriends are just off limits to friends. I mean, that is just like the rules of feminism. Don't worry. I'll never tell Regina what you said. It'll be our little secret.
Well, so that shows the example that Katie is smart and, sort of sets up the whole, like, she has some sort of math intelligence and will lead into the mathletes, but it also shows, like, Regina is not stupid, but she's not, like, her strength doesn't lie in arithmetic or things like that. Like, she's smart more socially than she is, education.
Also, cheese fries are apparently less than 30% calories.
Yeah, I feel like that's also, like, the joke. It's like, I'm not going to eat this chocolate, but I'll go and get a bunch of cheese fries. But it's also setting up, like, Gretchen makes the comment of, if you like someone, you sort of have to check the group first to make sure, like, the group is okay with it before. And obviously is showing, like, there's some sort of infighting in between, of the plastics, and where, like, Gretchen has her, because she's clearly infatuated with Jason, but the rest of the plastics have some sort of stance against him.
Yeah, and you can also kind of hear that, like, the manual is coming through here, because it's like, people will invent rules and stick to them for the benefit of the group, even if it, suppresses their own personal thoughts.
Yeah, and then that comes back later, and Regina literally says, who cares, those are stupid rules, we make them up. And she's like, well, you gotta stick to them, because you made us stick to them. And it's like, yeah, it's until it, benefits, or doesn't benefit the person, then it's just like, well, rules are arbitrary anyway and dumb. But Katie admits that she does like someone who has a history with the plastics. But now we get to get in, we're going shopping.
Oh yeah, get in, loser, we're going shopping.
Yeah, now we get to get in, loser, we're going shopping.
And the fashion of the mall scene is funny because Katie is still getting her bearings because she's wearing the pink Lacoste shirt she borrowed from Damien, and it's like the other three are very fashionable and put together. She's like wearing this massively oversized shirt, walking around the mall with them.
Yeah,
like clearly doesn't look like part of the group yet.
Like, she's known, all right, on Wednesdays we wear pink, but she just assumes like everything's basically got to be pink, where like all of the other plastic, like, there's like a subtle hint of pink to their costumes or their outfits, where like it's just a full-on pink polo, oversized. Like, she clearly didn't have anything else pink, so she had to borrow a shirt. But I like this bit of the movie because it shows where the intelligence of Regina lies, and it's not in her necessarily in her schooling, it's in her
manipulation and
social manipulation, and how she can play, she could pull the strings to her benefit, or at least to her friends' benefits as well.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Oh my God, there's Jason.
Where? Oh, there he is.
Oh, and he's with Taylor Waddell. I heard they're going out.
Wait, Jason's not going out with Taylor. No, he cannot blow you off like that. He's such a little skis. Give me your phone.
But you're not gonna call him, right?
Do you think I'm an idiot?
No.
Waddell on South Boulevard?
Caller ID.
Not when you connect from information.
Hello?
Hello, may I please speak to Taylor Waddell?
She's not home yet. Who's calling?
Oh, this is Susan from Planned Parenthood. I have her test results. If you could have her give me a call as soon as she can. It's urgent. Thank you. She's not going out with anyone.
Okay, that was so fetch.
Mom.
So we get to Regina's mansion. It's gigantic. And we get the introduction of Amy Poehler. I'm going to go back to that last scene just real quick. Like, it just shows like how Regina is really intelligent, but it's so mean. But that doesn't seem to impact that Taylor girl because she shows up in the rest of the movie just in the background, like still flirting with that character. So I guess she was able to maybe dispel to her mother.
She's probably convinced her mom she didn't go to Planned Parenthood.
I did not go to Planned Parenthood. There was nothing involved. But this is fun because it's the biggest scene that we have of Amy Poehler, and it just shows like a fun mom who
she's not a regular mom.
She's a fun mom. She's a cool mom. Like the mom that tries to keep up with her kid more than trying to be like a better parent.
I mean, she's not that much. She's only 7 years older than her.
Only 7 year difference. So I mean, it makes sense.
Wow, your house is really hot. Your heart is rock.
And also, I like the little sister who again should be not watching Khaleesi's milkshake video or
any of the things she's watching on the TV, but she imitates everything.
Yeah, if Amy Poehler was essentially a better parent, would be like, hey, maybe don't do you can watch this, but just don't.
Well, the milkshake one isn't too bad. When she watched the Spring Break Girls Gone Wild
Girls
video,
Gone Wild is a little bit too much. But yeah, the little girl looks like she's probably only 10 or 12. Yeah. Like she shouldn't be.
She's a plastic in training.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Wow, your house is really nice.
I know, right?
Make sure you check out her mom's boob job. Their heart is rocks.
I'm home. Hey, Kylie.
Hey.
Hey, how are my best girlfriends?
Hey, Mrs. George.
This is Katie.
Hello, sweetheart. Hi. Welcome to our home. I just want you to know, if you need anything, don't be shy, okay? There are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. Right, Regina?
Please stop talking.
Okay, I'm gonna make you girls a hump day treat.
This is your room?
It was my parents' room, but I made them trade me. Hey, put on 98.8. Katie, do you even know who sings this?
The Spice Girls?
I love her. She's like a Martian.
I love this scene so much because the song they're playing is Overdrive by Katie Rose. No one knows who Katie Rose is. I do. Katie Rose was one of the very many knockoffs of Avril Lavigne in the early aughts. And so she, her image was, she was basically making pop rock music, but she was like a rebel-y, whatever type image. And I like this song. I actually liked her album. But this song was not a hit. No one knows who she was. So I just always found it hilarious. They were like, do you even know who sings this? Because no one in the general public, even back when this movie came out, knew who sang that song.
I don't know who Katie Rose is. It makes me think of Ruby Rose, who is from Orange is the New Black. That's about it. And I really also don't like the way they set up turning on the radio, because they turn on 98.8 and it's you could just say turn on the radio. Why did you give a specific
That's
radio
the cool station?
But it never comes back. That never comes back that's the cool radio station that everyone listens to, or at least that's where you get the music from. You can just say, oh, turn on the music, or turn on the song, or turn on the radio, or turn on this. When you get specific like that, and you say turn on X, and it never comes back, it always just bugs me, because it's why did you get so specific?
Well, it's just a throwaway line.
I know, but then why make it a throwaway line when you can just say turn on the radio? And then I also don't like once the radio is turned on and the music starts, they're all, well, save for Katie, the other three plastics are standing around the radio, and they have to look at each other to designate yes, this is the song that we want to listen to, and we all are in agreement, and then we all walk away collectively to look in the mirror. It's just I've never liked that scene in the entirety of the movie. I've never liked that, because I don't like the specificity of the radio station, and that they all have to acknowledge, yes, this is the music that we're listening to. Let's now look in the mirror. What if the music... And one, also, I get it. I get movie magic. I get it. I'm being just very pedantic right now. But I don't like when movies turn on radios or music and the music starts at the very beginning. You never get the music in the middle of a song. You never get the music at the end of a song. It's always exactly at the beginning. Ha! Anyway, I don't like that.
Well, I love that scene because I remember I knew that song before we was using the movie, and I remember watching the movie and all of a sudden it playing, and I was like, I was just like so dumbfounded because it was. I mean, to be honest, when I was 16 or however, I really did like that song, but like I knew at the time it was a big flop. So like it was just so because it had been out a few months, I think, by the time
you and all your AT prep friends were like, "Oh my god, I love this song, Katie Rose! I love that! Oh my god, she's in a movie!"
Exactly. But no, like I don't know. That's the reason why I love it because it is just I don't know. I find it hilarious.
All right, fair enough.
My Heart's on Overdrive.
It's a terrible song. But we learn of the burn book, which is a pretty important plot point.
Oh my god, I remember this.
Ugh, I haven't looked at that in forever.
Here, check it out, Katie. It's our burn book. So we cut out girls' pictures from the yearbook, and then we wrote comments.
Trang Pak is a grotesque little biatch.
Still true.
Don Schweitzer is a fat virgin.
Still half true.
Amber D'Alessio, she made out with a hot dog.
Janice Ian Dyke.
Who is that?
I think that's that kid Damien.
Yeah, he's almost too gay to function.
That's funny. Put that in there.
Oh no. Maybe that was only okay when Janice said it.
I also like that, like, obviously, like, Lindsay Lohan's character is now learning, like, oh, there's social etiquette. Like, there's some jokes you say to your friends that you don't say to certain people, blah, blah, blah. But that joke of made out with a hot dog was another one of the jokes that had to be changed to bump it down from an R rating to a PG-13 because the MPAA are a bunch of, like, 5 old white women that don't understand how anything works.
How misogynist, or not misogynist, yeah, misogynist of you.
It's true, though. That's literally what that group is.
No, well, it's not, no, it is, tends to be, I think, religiously
I'm pretty sure I remember, at least, like, when I learned the information, it was, at the time, 5 old white women were... It might maybe it's gotten a little bit progressive. Maybe added some men to it. Maybe I don't know. But anyway,
the documentary this film is not yet rated is basically all about the MPA. It's old now, but I feel like it's still relevant. So
like until that shit changes, it needs. Yeah, that film will forever be relevant. But that line had to be changed from masturbated with a hot dog to made out with a hot dog.
You know, I always thought made out with a hot dog was a little weird because how masturbated with a hot dog makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, but you could still get away with it. Or like if you just change the word masturbate.
You could now, but 15 years ago, obviously you couldn't then.
Yeah. But we now have to get the information back to Janice and Damien, as well as we get a little fun Tina Fey joining in on the fun.
And they have this book, this burn book, where they write mean things about all the girls in our grade.
What does it say about me?
You're not in it.
Those bitches.
Will this minimize my pores?
No. Caddy, you gotta steal that book.
No way!
Oh, come on, we could publish it and then everybody would see what an axe wound she really is.
I don't steal.
That is for your feet. Caddy, there are 2 kinds of evil people. People who do evil stuff and people who see evil stuff being done and don't try to stop it.
Does that mean I'm morally obligated to burn that lady's outfit? Oh my god, that's Miss Norbury.
Oh, I love seeing teachers outside of school. It's like seeing a dog walk on its hind legs.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? I didn't know you worked here.
Yeah, moderately priced soaps are my calling.
You shopping?
No, I'm just here with my boyfriend. Joking. Sometimes older people make jokes.
My Nana takes her wig off when she's drunk.
Your Nana and I have that in common. No, actually, I'm just here because I bartend a couple nights a week down at PJ Calamities. Katie, I hope you do join Mathletes, because we start in a couple weeks, and I would love to have a girl on the team, just, so the team could meet a girl.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Great.
You can't join Mathletes, it's social suicide.
Thanks, Damien. Well, this has been sufficiently awkward, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Oh man, that is bleak.
That line kind of played like we see it in 30 Rock sometimes. Tina Fey sometimes writes the stereotypes like, oh, the Mathletes will join the team so they'll meet a girl. Like that's the sort of editor writing where like she kind of relies on just kind of like a little bit low hanging, just kind of.
Yeah, but I think like not to defend her, but I think like it is like a product of her time. Like I'm sure her coming up, like she maybe was on the Mathletes or like at least her observation of mathletes was it probably was a male-dominated sport.
Well, sure. I mean, yes, that's a stereotype. It's just like sometimes like a lot of like I don't know, her jokes sometimes like lean like those like very like base stereotypes.
But that's true. But I do like because I mean this is still pre 30 Rock, so like I like her sarcasm and her wit in this scene of like, I'm just here with my boyfriend. It's just
sometimes
like really,
old people make jokes,
like rugged old guy, like they're clear, like he's like in on the joke, but he's not because he's like looking at them like I don't know this lady. It's fun, but like this is just showing like her sharpness and her wit, and it's still as many times as I've seen this movie, I always forget that Janice and Damien are not in the same math class, or they are they. They're not in the same math class.
We never see them in a math class.
So like I guess they're in like a different class with Katie, and then Katie's in a math class with Aaron.
Yeah, because she's in a senior level calc class.
But like they all know Miss Norbury, but they're not in the same class with each other. But it's always like, the classrooms are the exact same setup for the most part. That I'm like, I always forget that like they're not in the same math class together, but they all know everyone well enough. If that makes sense, like. They all know Miss Norbury, but they're not in the same math class with Katie.
Maybe Miss Norbury's their homeroom teacher because in the scene at the beginning,
that's true.
She walks in and they're all sitting there.
Or maybe they all are in the math class, but they don't interact.
No, I think it's that she must be their homeroom teacher.
Oh yeah,
because she's definitely in there. Because that's when she walks in. Yeah, and they're in that class when she's introducing everyone. But obviously, when she's in the actual math class, she's behind Aaron Samuels and they're not in there. So she must be their homeroom teacher, and that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is also like a movie. This movie is like a product of a time, and like there's cell phones, but they're not iPhones yet. They're still flip phones, and there's also still landlines, which it's obviously pre-Snapchat, pre-Facebook, pre-Instagram, all of that stuff. Like those things don't exist. Like they're just fevered pitches in this game. So like we get a 3-way call attack between Rachel, Katie, and Gretchen.
Hello?
I know your secret.
Oh God, busted. Just start apologizing and crying. No, play it cool. Secret? What are you saying about?
Gretchen told me that you like Aaron Samuels. I mean, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But let me just tell you something about Aaron. All he cares about is school and his mom and his friends.
Is that bad?
But if you like him, whatever. I mean, I could talk to him for you if you want.
Really? You would do that? I mean, nothing embarrassing though, right?
Oh no, trust me. I know exactly how to play it. But wait, aren't you so mad at Gretchen for telling me?
No.
Because if you are, you can tell me. It was a really bitchy thing for her to do.
Yeah, it was pretty bitchy, but I'm not mad. I mean, I guess she just likes the attention.
See, Gretch, I told you she's not mad at you.
I can't believe you think I like attention.
Okay, love ya. See you tomorrow.
I had survived my first 3-way calling attack. And with Regina's blessing, I started talking to Aaron more and more.
And now we get a Halloween scene, which we're not going to so much show too many clips from this because a lot of it is visual. But it's also showing, like, again, the repeating theme for Lindsay Lohan's character, at least the first half of the film, is her social ineptitude. And
she's told it's a costume party, so she dresses up in a scary costume for Halloween.
And she forgets the rules of how typically young females will dress for Halloween. So she goes as a zombie bride / ex-wife, which is a really gnarly costume, while everyone else dresses a little bit more sexfully.
Yeah, this is another thing that's of its time though, because even though I think still now, like, yes, like it's a cliche for like every like woman's costume on Halloween is like sexy this, sexy that, but it's like I don't know, like I feel like you couldn't play the scene the exact same way where it's like women use Halloween as the only day they can dress up as a slut and not be judged for it, like. You could still maybe do a similar concept, but you couldn't write it in the exact same way today. I don't think. Because you couldn't really phrase it in the same way as like women can dress as a slut and it's okay that day.
Yeah. I mean, like it shouldn't be. I mean, like women obviously should be able to dress however they want, whatever they want, you know. And obviously the term slut or whore, bitch, whatever is still very derogatory. And you don't use that for males and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the idea that women use Halloween as a reason to be a slut is very outdated and has lessened over the time since this movie's come out. But, you still go out for Halloween. There are still women that...
Oh, right. Well, I'm not saying, like, yeah, like, still do it. Sexy, whatever, so cliche, but it's like...
I don't think it is, like, derogatory. I think in the area that we live in like when October is around, like it's colder. Like it's not like freezing, but it's colder. So like honestly, it's more like it's brave to go out dressed as skimpily as you are, and either little to no leggings and like just this like skin tight outfit. If you want to do that, to me like the more layers the better. But if you want to dress like that, it's more like commendable than slutty. Like I salute you for it.
I mentioned little to no leggings. What?
Well, I mean,
what is little leggings?
Well, a legging to me is like stockings or tights.
Right.
So if you're not using stockings or tights and it's full on just like boots, nothing from like your ankle or thigh up to your waist, and you're just wearing like a skirt, that's little to no stockings.
It's very brave.
That's commendable. Like that's great. But I also don't want to hear you talk about, oh, it's so cold. You chose this dress. You knew what you were going out in. That's on you. You get no sympathy from me for that. But we see that again, the manipulative side of Regina as she talks to Aaron.
Hey. Oh, no. Didn't anybody tell you? You were supposed to wear a costume.
Shut up. I need to talk to you. You know that girl, Katie?
Yeah, she's cool. I invited her tonight.
Well, be careful because she has a huge crush on you.
Really? How do you know?
Because she told me. She tells everybody. It's kind of cute, actually. She's like a little girl. She like writes all over her notebook, Mrs. Aaron Samuels. And she made this t-shirt that says, I Heart Aaron, and she wears it under all her clothes.
Oh, come on.
Well, who can blame her? I mean, you're gorgeous. And okay, look, I'm not saying she's a stalker, but she saved this Kleenex you used, and she said she's gonna do some kind of African voodoo with it to make you like her.
What?
This was it. Regina said she would talk to Aaron for me, and now she was.
I know she's kind of socially retarded and weird, but she's my friend, so just promise me you won't make fun of her.
Of course I'm not gonna make fun of her.
How could Janice hate Regina? She was such a good... slut!
What are you doing? You broke up with me.
That's crazy. Why would I break up with you? You're so hot.
Ah! That's a scary mask, bro.
I had never felt this feeling before. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. My stomach felt like it was going to fall out my butt. I had this lump in my throat like after you dry swallow a big pill. I hated Regina. I hated her.
So Katie meets up with Damien and Janice and learns that we've got to develop a plan to destroy the plastics.
Regina George is an evil dictator. Now, how do you overthrow a dictator? You cut off her resources. Regina would be nothing without her high-status man candy, technically good physique, an ignorant band of loyal followers. Now, Caddy, if we want this to work, you are gonna have to keep hanging out with them like nothing is wrong. Can you do it?
I can do it.
Okay, let's rock this bitch.
Pretending like nothing was wrong turned out to be surprisingly easy.
And Regina wanted me to tell you that she was trying to hook you up with Aaron, but he was just interested in getting her back. And that's not Regina's fault.
No, I know.
Okay, so you're not mad at Regina?
God, no.
Oh, okay, good, because Regina wanted me to give you this.
It's called the South Beach Fat Flush, and all you drink is cranberry juice for 72 hours.
This isn't even cranberry juice. It's cranberry juice cocktail. It's all sugar.
I want to lose 3 pounds.
You're crazy.
I mean, if you had a urinary infection, because that's what cranberry juice treats, but other than that, like, I mean, I realize it's, like, supposed to be, like, satirical, like, of all the whatever diets, like, just drink cranberry juice for 3 days straight to lose weight.
Yeah.
But, like,
what's the fad right now? Whole30 is the new...
Yeah, Whole30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a friend that's doing it, or did it, I think, in the last month, and they lost 10 to 15 pounds, so, like...
How much of that was water weight?
I'm not going to take that away from them. Let them have their pride, you know?
Yeah,
and let them have their moment. But, yeah, I mean, it just seems like this again is showing like her ignorance, but once Katie's on the scene, like she's showing like her manipulative powers again, like of controlling her. But like, yeah, she's not even listening to what Aaron's saying.
She just wants to lose 3 pounds.
Right, like it's all about like the weight loss and knowing she can't.
Also, 3 pounds. Like, that's part of the point of the joke. It's like 3 pounds. Like you can't even see 3 pounds if you go up or down 3 pounds.
Right, like 3 pounds would mean nothing, especially to someone in her shape. Like she doesn't really need to lose any weight, I don't think. But that's high school.
Well, yeah, I'm saying that's part of that's probably again coming from the Queen Bee's whatever manual. Like like. Some teenage girls like have an obsession with losing weight. So,
then you're just either stagnating or you're gaining. So it's like you got to always be losing something, which is a horrible mentality. But we get we're not going to show this just for it's mostly visual, but we get a fun little montage of them trying to ruin Regina's life, but
it just makes her cooler.
It makes her cooler, but we then find a break in the case of how they can actually start breaking down at least the army of skinks, as Janice has put it.
This is ass, you guys. It's been a month and all we've done is make Regina's face smell like a foot.
I've been really busy with choir.
We gotta crack Gretchen wieners. We crack Gretchen and then we crack the lock on Regina's whole dirty history.
Say crack again.
Crack. All right, let's reconvene tonight.
I can't. I have to go to Regina's to practice for the talent show. We're doing a dance to this song.
Jingle Bell Rock.
You guys know that song?
Everybody in the English-speaking world knows that song.
They do it every year.
Well, I have to learn it. Uh-oh, go. Hey!
Why were you talking to Janice Ian?
I don't know. I mean, she's so weird. She just, came up to me and started talking to me about crack.
She's so pathetic. Let me tell you something about Janice Ian. We were best friends in middle school. I know, right? It's so embarrassing. Whatever. So then in 8th grade, I started going out with my first boyfriend, Kyle, who was totally gorgeous, but then he moved to Indiana. And Janice was like weirdly jealous of him. Like if I would blow her off to hang out with Kyle, she'd be like, why didn't you call me back? And I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me? So then for my birthday party, which was an all-girls pool party, I was like, Janice, I can't invite you because I think you're a lesbian. I mean, I couldn't have a lesbian at my party. There are gonna be girls there in their bathing suits. I mean, right? She was a lesbian. So then her mom called my mom and started yelling at her. It was so retarded. And then she dropped out of school because no one would talk to her. When she came back in the fall for high school, all of her hair was cut off and she was totally weird, and now I guess she's on crack. Oh my God, I love your skirt. Where did you get it?
It was my mom's in the 80s.
Vintage. So adorable.
Thanks.
That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. Oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
So are you gonna send any candy canes?
No, I don't send them, I just get them. So you better send me one, biatch. Love ya.
I was definitely sending her one. I was gonna use 3 candy canes to crack Gretchen wieners. 3, please.
So another interesting moment when Katie learns, or maybe understands Regina more, is after she praises the other girl's skirt, and then when she leaves, tells her like how it's the ugliest skirt she's ever seen, and then thinks back to her praising her bracelet, and then realize like it just puts another piece, like, because before she had kind of like the raw emotion of, oh, Regina just stole the boy I liked or whatever, but now it's like, oh, also she works on a totally more subtle manipulative level to, on the surface be genuine or be nice or whatever, but actually it's her praise is an insult.
Right, or like just because she like 2 meanings to something, like you could be saying it's nice and still being like disgusted.
Yeah, so she starts to learn she has to be manipulative
as
and
well as
deal.
Regina and Janice, at least Regina's side of what her and Janice's friendship used to be. Which, if I'm Katie in this situation and Regina has just told me that, I would go to Janice and be like, so what's the history between you guys? If I don't already know, like, what's the history? Because she's just told me this story. There's clearly another side. Let's figure this out. But obviously, for movie reasons,
and part of it is that she hates her, but she also respects her and still wants to be liked by her. So she will still take some of the things she says that
add value.
Yeah,
right. But Katie still learns how we can start getting under the skin of the rest of the plastics.
Candy cane grounds!
Okay, hurry up.
Taylor Zimmerman, 2 for you. Glen Coco, 4 for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco. And Caddy Heron. Do we have a Caddy Heron here?
It's Katie.
Oh, Katie, here you go. 1 for you. And none for Gretchen Wieners. Bye.
Who's that from?
Thanks for being such a great friend. Love, Regina. That's so sweet.
Okay, back to Caesar.
Once Gretchen thought Regina was mad at her, the secrets started pouring out. All I had to do was wait for one we could use.
So Regina just said in the previous scene, I don't send them, I get them. If Gretchen knows Regina very well, wouldn't she know that Regina doesn't send them? So wouldn't she be a little more curious as like, why would Regina suddenly start sending them?
Well, no, I think this is on character because Gretchen's primary concern is being liked and being popular. So I think it's totally authentic for her first thought to be, why is Regina sending something instead of, why is Regina sending to someone who's not me instead of, wait, why is she sending it? Like, I think it makes sense. Yeah,
that's true. Fair enough. Then we get the Winter Talent Show, which we're not going to play too many clips of. I want to play Damien's clip because it's the funniest. Because honestly, the balls to be able to sing a solo in front of your class and your student body, in addition to singing a terrible Christina Aguilera,
especially when it's a terrible song like "Beautiful" by Christina Aguilera.
Absolutely, hey, kudos. But I mean, he does the best that he can, and it's got a lot of funny moments in it.
Let's hear it for Damien.
Don't look at me. Every day is so wonderful.
I mean, why would Regina send you guys candy canes and not me? Maybe she forgot about you.
Yeah, Regina has been acting kind of weird lately. I mean, is something bothering her?
Well, I mean, her parents totally don't sleep in the same bed anymore, if that's what you mean. Oh my God, don't tell her I told you that.
I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Won't you bring me down today?
I mean, no offense, but why would she send you a candy cane? She doesn't even like you that much. Maybe she feels weird around me because I'm the only person that knows about her nose job.
But the Winter Talent Show goes on very well. We get a fun little, we get more Amy Poehler, who's super great, doing
dancing in the aisle,
doing the fun choreography for the girls, and then we get a fun a cappella version once the CD skips of Jingle Bell Rock. But for the sake of the show, we're going to skip it. But it's a great scene altogether. But we also get, I think, the final fetch of the movie, as well as Gretchen fully breaking. So she just can't take it anymore.
That was the best it ever went.
That was awesome.
Lip gloss.
Hey, good job, Africa.
Thanks. Oh, Katie's blushing. Oh my God, you totally have a crush on that guy.
No, I don't. That's why you wanted to join the mathletes.
Mathletes? You hate math.
Look how red she is. You love him, and he totally complimented you. That is so fetch.
Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Why should Caesar get to stomp around like a giant while the rest of us try not to get smushed under his big feet? What's so great about Caesar? Brutus is just as cute as Caesar. Okay, Brutus is just as smart as Caesar. People totally like Brutus just as much as they like Caesar. And when did it become okay for one person to be the boss of everybody, huh? Because that's not what Rome is about. We should totally just stab Caesar!
Gretchen Wieners had cracked.
If you even knew how mean she really is, you know that I'm not allowed to wear hoop earrings, right? Yeah, 2 years ago she told me that hoop earrings were her thing, and that I wasn't allowed to wear them anymore. And then for Hanukkah, my parents got me this pair of really expensive white gold hoops, and I had to pretend like I didn't even like them, and it was so sad. And you know she cheats on Aaron. Yes, every Thursday he thinks she's doing SAT prep, but really, she's hooking up with Shane Oman in the projection room above the auditorium, and I never told anybody that because I'm such a good friend.
Jackpot. Gretchen's secret had put the plan back in motion.
We learned she's Jewish.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I always forget, because it's not a big mainstay of the character.
Yeah. But also, all these little things that Gresham keeps saying over and over. Like, when he gets to the end, it's like, all the rules are fake. Like, it makes all these things even more hilarious in retrospect, because it's like, everything she did was just to basically control you, not to actually be real rules or matter. Like, all these things that you didn't do or turned down or whatever made you unhappy, like, was for no reason.
Yeah, and, like, even, like, the stuff that you're using against you, like, oh, you got expensive white gold hoop earrings, and you had, like, that's still, like, very first world problems. Like, it's hard to really find sympathy for something like that. Like, it's really bad. So then we get the second way that we can ruin Regina's George image, and we get the Caltine bars.
Well, we say the second way they try to do it is they try to get her to break up with Aaron by getting him to the projection room above the auditorium to see Regina hooking up with Shane Oman. But unfortunately, no matter how they do it, whether it's swim practice is moved to the projection room, or someone has taken Kitty's purse and the robber runs to the projection room, they never quite catch them in the act.
So they then fall on the Caltine bars to ruin her quote-unquote
technically
hot body. So after the fun montage, we start learning that Katie is blending more and more into the plastics, but in a bad way, as opposed to still trying to get information. She's using it more to her benefit. Yeah.
And she's so obsessed with Regina, she can't stop talking about her or thinking about her.
I was a woman possessed. I spent about 80% of my time talking about Regina, and the other 20% of the time I was praying for someone else to bring her up so I could talk about her more.
She's not even that good looking if you really look at her.
I don't know. Now that she's getting fatter, she's got pretty big jugs.
I could hear people getting bored with me, but I couldn't stop. It just kept coming up like word vomit.
I have this theory that if you cut all her hair off, she'd look like a British man.
Yeah, I know you told me that one before. Hey, I'm having an art show, so you should take a night off from your double life. I want you to see it.
Goodness.
What is that smell?
Oh, Regina gave me some perfume.
You smell like a baby prostitute.
Thanks.
Meanwhile, I was finding any excuse I could to talk to Aaron.
I don't get this. Do you get any of this?
Nice job, Katie.
Kinda seems like you get it.
If I was gonna keep this going, I was gonna have to really commit.
Not your best.
Damn, Africa, what happened?
How'd you do?
Not so good. You know, I think I need a tutor.
I'll tutor you if you ever want to get together after school or something.
Do you think Regina would mind?
No, you guys are friends. Well, maybe we just won't tell her.
So, what did you get for this one?
Well, the first time I did it, I got a 0.
Wrong.
But then when I checked it, I got 1.
There you go.
I got one too.
Yeah, you have to check it because sometimes the product of 2 negative integers is a positive number.
Yeah, like -4, -6.
That's right. That's good.
Well, you're a good tutor.
Man, look, I can't do this. It's not fair to Regina.
Why do you like her?
Look, I know she can be really mean sometimes, but...
Then why do you like her?
Why do you?
But...
Look, there's good and bad to everybody, right? Regina's just... she's just more upfront about it.
Oh no, it was coming up. The word vomit. I didn't mean to say it, but...
She's cheating on you.
What?
Did he say why?
Somebody told him about Shane Oman.
Who?
He said some guy on the baseball team.
Baseball team?
I gave him everything. I was half a virgin when I met him.
You want to do something fun? You want to go to Taco Bell?
I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you are so stupid.
That's so mean.
All carb diet, like it's so hilarious because like especially since like no carb or low carb diet, like she's on an all carb diet because she's eating the Caltine bars, which are going to completely quote unquote eliminate all the carbs she's been eating, so she'll have no calories left.
And it's so funny, like every scene after this, like all she's doing is eating carbs. Like she's eating donuts.
Yeah.
I think I think when she calls Karen, she starts eating like she just cuts like a piece of bread. Like she's just eating carbs all the time. So like she's stuck to it. She's all about the carbs. She loves it. But we learn the nominees of the Spring Fling dance include
Regina.
Thank you. Include Regina,
Gretchen.
Janice, Gretchen, and Katie in a surprise voting.
What about Karen? Poor Karen.
Oh yeah, I guess. She's too stupid to know whether
she's
should be
too
nominated.
stupid to be nominated
She's
for the
so
Spring.
stupid. I love that read. That's such a fun read. But the hot body starts to fall apart as we go to the very in fashion 135. Yes. God, what a terrible store.
In January, Regina had put a spring fling dress on hold at a store called 135. But being plastic, she needed our advice before she could actually buy it.
Can someone zip me up?
It won't close.
It's a 5.
Okay, it must be marked wrong.
Katie, all I've been eating are these Caltine bars. They suck.
No, this is just how they work. This is all your water weight. First you bloat, and then you drop 10 pounds like that.
It's so funny because for you just bulk up your water weight and all the water weight just goes away and
that's how it works.
It makes sense. I mean, her Regina's facial expression is hilarious while this is going on, but she's like, "That makes no sense." But I guess I'll let it slide
because you've given me no reason to distrust you. Yeah. But it's also like that does make no sense.
And then she gets teed up for the ultimate insult.
Well, the Caltine bars have burned up all your carbs, and now your body's just running on water. But once the water's gone, then you'll be all muscle. It explains it all on the label.
You know Swedish?
Yeah, everyone in Africa can read Swedish. Ma'am, do you have this in the next size up?
Sorry, we only carry sizes 1, 3, and 5. You could try Sears.
Poor Sears. Back then, I guess it was still a kid. Now it's going on the verge of going bankrupt and all the stores are closing. But Sears just can't catch a break in the 2000s.
Poor Sears. They need a defender. As someone who worked collection for Sears, fuck Sears, honestly. They prey... No, seriously. No, they're terrible. They prey on old people to open up a bunch of credit cards.
That's all.
It's terrible.
That's all credit cards.
I know, but Sears specifically targets old people. I don't have any sympathy for them. They deserve to go out of business for refusing to adopt any sort of modern or mainstream idea of how to shop. Fuck them.
Katie spent so much time being bad at math to get Aaron to tutor her that now she is actively failing math. Mm-hmm. So Miss Norbury gives her a talking to and suggests that she might want to join the mathletes to get some extra credit.
As well as we learn a little bit more about Miss Norbury's character and why her divorce may have fallen through and what she expects from her life as well as her students' lives.
Katie, I need your parents to sign this so they know that you're failing.
Failing?
You know what's weird about your quizzes, Katie, is that all the work is right and just the answers are wrong.
Really?
Really. Katie, I know that having a boyfriend may seem like the most important thing in the world right now, but you don't have to dumb yourself down to get guys to like you.
How do you know?
I know. How would I know, right? I'm divorced. I'm broke from getting divorced. The only guy that ever calls my house is Randy from Chase Visa. And you know why? Because I'm a pusher. I push people. I pushed my husband into law school. That was a bust. I pushed myself into working 3 jobs. And now I'm going to push you because I know you're smarter than this.
Thanks, Miss Norbury. And if there's anything I can do for extra credit, please let me know.
Oh, I like that scene because it opens with her saying, you don't have to dumb yourself down to get a boyfriend. And you think that in high school that's the most important thing. And obviously that is very on the nose that trying to tell a teenage kid that is next to impossible. That your status in high school matters more than your education. I think education in high school is important. Maybe not that important, but I do think it's more important than your social status. But also the idea taking advice from an adult is certain stuff that I think as a teenager you sort of roll your eyes at. You probably don't want to hear from your teacher, especially an adult, of what are you going to know about this situation? Not like you've lived this before already. But I also like when they go to Regina's house and her idea of a workout is 2 pound weights.
Right, she's
very slowly working out, and it's like, this is doing nothing for anything that you're trying to...
It's burning off all that water weight from her all-carb diet, so she gets to be all muscle at the end.
Yes, I don't know. It's just a fun little visual in the background. But Katie is full-on plastic now, and is working outside of the Janice, Damien, and Katie trio to help exploit them a little bit further.
Hey, I called you last night. How come you didn't call me back?
Oh, I got busy, sorry.
So you need a ride to my art show this weekend?
Oh, no, I have to go to Madison with my parents. I'm so sorry.
Well, you want to watch a movie tonight?
Can't. I'm doing major plastic sabotage tonight.
But we don't have anything planned for tonight.
Oh, I planned this one on my own. Love ya. Bye.
And that scene's actually a good piece of character work, because the whole time, like, she's looking at her compact and, like, doing her makeup and, like, you know, fluffing her hair and whatever. And it's like, without explicitly saying it, it's showing, like, she's actually become a Regina George
clone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, she never really makes eye contact with them at all.
Yeah, and she speaks, I mean, her vocabulary, like, everything about her is, like, you can tell that she's just completely flipped.
And we've seen now in the movie, she spent way more time with Regina and their clique than she spent with Janice and Damien. So naturally, she's acclimating more towards the plastic than she is like the nerds or the art freaks or whatever they're classified as. So naturally, she's going to be acting more and more like them as the movie goes on. But this is the scene showing Regina still eating carbs. Like, she's eating a donut and then she starts eating bread.
And also, Katie gets her revenge of the three-way calling attack. It actually turns into a four-way calling attack.
She's mastered the attacks.
Gretchen thinks you're mad at her because she's running for Spring Fling Queen.
Oh my god, I'm not mad at her. I'm worried about her. I think somebody nominated her as a joke or something. I mean, nobody votes for her. She's gonna have a total meltdown. And who's gonna have to take care of her? Me.
So you don't think anyone will vote for her?
Katie, she's not pretty. I mean, that sounds bad, but whatever. The Spring Fling Queen is always pretty. I mean, the crazy thing is that it should be Karen, but people forget about her because she's such a slut. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm going to bed.
Well, she's not mad at you.
Hold on.
Are you okay?
Shh. Hello? If someone said something bad about you, you'd want me to tell you, right?
No.
What if it was someone you thought was your friend?
What do you... Hold on, other line.
I'm not taking this anymore.
Good for you, Gretchen.
Hello?
Let's go out.
Okay, hold on. I'm on the other line with Gretchen.
Don't invite Gretchen. She's driving me nuts.
Hold on.
Okay, hurry up.
It's Regina. She wants to hang out with me tonight, but she told me not to tell you.
Do not hang out with her.
Why?
Oh, you don't want me to tell you.
Oh, you can tell me. Hold on. Oh my god, she's so annoying.
Who is?
Who's this?
Gretchen.
Right. Hold on. Oh my god, she's so annoying.
I know. Just get rid of her.
Okay, what is it?
Regina says everyone hates you because you're such a slut.
She said that?
You didn't hear it from me.
A little harsh, Gretch.
Whatever, she has a right to know.
I can't go out. I'm sick.
Boo, you whore.
Oh my god! When Regina says "boo you whore," the facial, Karen's facial expression, it's like her mouth just drops like she's shocked. It's hilarious.
It's such a good read. Boo you whore should be how people end phone calls. That should be the new goodbyes. Boo you whore.
Whore.
That's the new goodbye. That's what I'm gonna be. My new goodbye is gonna be boo you whore. Goodbye. It's so good. I need to use it more often. It's so fun. But now the plastics are disrupted and
Regina can't break the rules anymore because the rules are there for a reason.
You can't sit with us!
Regina, we have to talk to you.
Is butter a carb?
Gina, pants. It's Monday.
So?
So that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us.
Whatever. Those rules aren't real.
They were real that day I wore a vest.
Because that vest was disgusting.
You can't sit with us!
These sweatpants are all that fits me right now. Fine. You can walk home, bitches.
So one narrative inconsistency is that all she's eating is carbs in the Caltine bars. She's obviously gaining weight if the sweatpants are all that can fit her. Like, obviously to fit the movie's narrative, like, she has to be oblivious and keep eating, but it's like, she's been shown to be smart enough that, like, obviously she realizes, like, she's gaining, she keeps gaining. Like, she hasn't lost her 10 pounds like that and turned into all muscle.
But I guess, like, I mean, it also is, like, for people that gain weight, like, it is hard to break those habits. Because, I mean, like, in this scene visually, like, it's never drawn attention, but, like, if you look at her tray versus everyone else at the table, they're all eating salads, apples, Diet Cokes. Her tray is full of nothing but carbs. There's a Caltine bar, there's Doritos, there's, like, tons of breads on, and even, like, a regular Coke. It's not even diet. So, like, whether she's oblivious or not, I think she's just so in the habit of, I'm on an all-carb diet, this is all I'm eating. Like, she just doesn't realize she can break the habit. And, like, I think in that scene, we're supposed to feel sympathy for her. We're supposed to feel bad for her.
Oh, yeah.
But everything that's led up to this, it's like, no, as someone in this situation, I have no reason to feel sympathy for you because you've been nothing but manipulative and terrible. But it's delivered with such empathy that it's just like, oh, part of me does want to feel bad for you, but at the same time, it's like, no, because if this were any other person at this table, you wouldn't feel bad for them. You would kick them out just as easily. So it's hard to feel too much sympathy for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the first time she's being treated as she treats everyone else, and it's like, it still sucks. But
it still sucks, but it's hard for me to really care because it's just like, yeah, you're a terrible person regardless. But now we see that Katie is the queen bee of the group. So she decides to throw a party at her house.
Just a small get-together.
A small get-together, which turns into a gigantic party thanks to Gretchen and Karen's intervention, for lack of a better term. But it all goes awry. But Aaron does show up, and they get a little fun together.
Oh, ow. Hey.
Hey.
I've been looking for you everywhere.
Me too.
Wow. You look, new clothes?
Thanks.
You want to go downstairs?
No. Let's stay here.
Thanks for getting me to come out tonight.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I've wasted too much time being pissed off at Regina. No more liars.
I would never lie to you.
No, I know.
Although, okay, listen, I mean, I did lie to you once, but you're totally gonna laugh when I tell you, so.
Tell me what?
I pretended to be bad at math so that you'd help me. But the thing is, I'm not really bad at math. I'm actually really good at math. You're kind of bad at math. Anyways, now I'm failing. Isn't that funny?
Wait, you're failing on purpose? That's stupid.
No, not on purpose. Just, I just wanted a reason to talk to you.
So why didn't you just talk to me?
Well, because I couldn't. Because of Regina. Because you were her property.
Her property?
No, shut up. Not her property.
No, don't tell me to shut up.
I wasn't.
God, you know what? You are just like a clone of Regina.
Oh, no. Listen to me. You're not listening to me.
Oh, no. It was coming up again. Word vomit. No, wait a minute.
What is this?
Actual vomit.
Aaron, wait, just... Okay. Call me.
Janice had mentioned that she had an art show this weekend, the same weekend as the party, and Katie said she can't go because she's going to the Madison
to see Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo with her parents, and now Janice confronts her as to why she lied. And this is a really fun scene, but it's also the whole culmination of everything and the realization that she is fully plastic and she's abandoned her friends and she is now at her full-on breaking point for her character.
You dirty little liar.
I'm sorry, I can explain.
Explain how you forgot to invite us to your party?
Janice, I cannot stop this car. I have a curfew.
You know I couldn't invite you. I had to pretend to be plastic.
Buddy, you're not pretending anymore. You're plastic. Cold, shiny, hard plastic.
Curfew, 1 a.m. It is now 1:10.
Did you have an awesome time? Did you drink awesome shooters and listen to awesome music and then just sit around and soak up each other's awesomeness?
You know what? You're the one who made me like this, so you could use me for your 8th grade revenge.
God, see, at least me and Regina George know we're mean. You try to act like you're so innocent. Like,
oh, I used to live in Africa with all the little birdies and the little monkeys.
You know what? It's not my fault you're like in love with me or something.
What?
Oh, no, she did not.
See, that is the thing with you plastics. You think that everybody is in love with you when actually everybody hates you. Like Aaron Samuels, for example, he broke up with Regina, and guess what? He still doesn't want you. So why are you still messing with Regina, Katie? I'll tell you why. Because you are a mean girl. You're a bitch.
So that's not quite true. I think she says it earlier, but when she talks about how she hates Regina, but she still wants her to like her, I feel like that's emblematic of especially high school, but really throughout life. Like, a lot of times you're dealing with people that you can't stand for whatever reason, but you still want them to like you just because you still want to be liked.
Right.
And that's the distillation. That's why she's still messing with her, because she hates her, but she still respects her on some level, and she still wants her to like her and everyone to like her.
Her being Janice or her being Katie?
Well, Katie want Regina. Katie's still messing with Regina because she still, despite all this, she hates her, but she still is obsessed with her, and she wants her to like her. Like, she wants everyone to like her. So it's it's not just that she's plastic. It's that, I don't know. It's it's sort of the complex thing of where even if you hate someone, sometimes you still want them to like you or respect you or whatever.
Right. Yeah. That's fair, especially in high school. I mean,
yeah.
I think that.
Especially in high school. Yeah.
I think that lessens more in adult world, but in the high school aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah, because you just want to be liked. Like, you mold yourself into whatever, even if it's not you, just to be liked. Yeah.
Right. I mean, because you're going to see these people for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
There is an understanding of I've got to be accepted or have some sort of niche idea. But I think that's one of the best scenes of the movie is the confrontation and the breakdown of everything of all of that. I think it's great. But now the Burn Burke. Shut up, you say it.
So after Regina walks in on Aaron and Katie at the party, she gets an idea for one big plan to totally take Katie down, and it comes with a clever twist. She cuts up a picture of her and Katie and starts writing in the burn book that this person is
the do not trust them, and they're the fugly slut of the entire school. And the twist is that she puts a picture of herself,
she puts her own photograph in there, not Katie's,
and publicly turns it in to the principal, who now has the entire burn book in his possession, and sort of sets up the third act.
I found it in the girls' bathroom. It's so mean, Mr. Duvall.
Is this true? Trang Pak made out with Coach Carr? Good Lord.
What's that say? Caitlin Cousin is
fat whore.
Okay, calm down, Miss George.
Why would someone write that? That's just so mean.
Don't worry, we're gonna find out who did it.
There's only 3 girls in the whole school who aren't in it.
At your age, you're going to be having a lot of urges. You're going to want to take off your clothes and touch each other. But if you do touch each other, you will get chlamydia and die.
Coach Carr.
Katie Heron, I want to see you in the principal's office. All right, chlamydia. K-L-A.
How bad was your high school / middle school health classes in terms of sex ed and all that?
Gosh, health class in high school, I don't even know if we had a sex portion. I remember in 7th grade, there was some sort of we watched videos about things, but that was probably the extent of it.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me. I think in 6th grade, I think we watched the sex ed courses. I think one day was for the male sex ed, and then the second day was for the female. And I remember the female one because it starred Tia and Samira Mowry as the actresses in the I got my period pieces. But in terms of full-on sex ed post 6th grade, I think it was, if anything, it was a week course, and it was very minor. We didn't really discuss anything. I don't think sex ed was discussed past 6th grade, which more detrimental than anything. I think we could have benefited from more information. If we got a talk about gonorrhea and herpes and chlamydia, would have been way more information than we ever got. in our public school system. But
yeah, I vaguely remember talking about STs at some point, but I just remembered it was in Oklahoma elementary school, so it would have been 5th or 6th grade. I remember watching, like, they had us watch some video that kept talking about the word erections. I didn't understand what it meant. So I remember going to recess and being like, what are erections? Like, my friends, because, like, I didn't remember, like, someone said, like, what it was. But, like, I just remember they kept saying the word erections in the video, but they didn't explain it. So I was like, what is erections?
So going into this video, you're supposed to know what an erection is.
Well, I mean, it could have been
like,
they said it and I just missed it or something, but, like, I just remember they just kept saying that word over and over and going to recess and being like,
I feel like arousal
what is erections?
would have been the better word to be using instead of erections. And, like, erections in passing, but arousal would be the more, like, common scientific term to describe what happens. I don't know. That's
sex ed in this country is terrible.
Oh, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke, and it needs to be.
Needs to be better.
Like, if we got what this school is teaching, would be way better. At least, like, way better than what we got. But it's still like, it's still a joke. Like, in this world, like, they're like, please don't have sex, but if you are, please take condoms. Like, I don't think we definitely didn't get condoms.
No, I didn't get condoms until college, like the things where they would just pass them out. Yeah.
Like, we were not getting taught sex ed in high school. It was 1 year in middle school, and that was it. And at that time, like, you didn't talk about sex afterwards because it was just, like, too taboo, which is not good. Like, you need to be talking about sex all the time, just to make sure people understand all of it. It's bad. It's a bad, 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 bad world. But I like this with the burn book all coming out. Like, we like, the stupid side of Regina is gone. It's full on manipulative, just almost like diabolical Regina is now out, and she is playing the game the best way she knows how.
But the only thing that never comes to a head is, though, when she throws all the papers that are photocopies of the burn book all over everywhere, it's like, where did those come from? You know, because it's like she finds the book in the bathroom, supposedly she turns it in, and then all of a sudden everyone in the school knows about it, and it's like,
true.
I mean, obviously it doesn't make sense to explore it because that just, I mean, obviously that makes Regina then look like the whatever,
the guilty party.
Yeah, but they just never explore. All of a sudden, these photocopies of the entire book show up everywhere.
Yeah,
and
no, in the sense of the movie, it would make sense to explore that. But in The Rock, it's like she's the only one literally just standing proud. Like, everyone else is fighting and attacking one another. She's just standing there. So, like, clearly she's the guilty party because no one's attacking her. But it's like, it's just, but like, it's a good visual of, like, the camera starts on her and slowly zooms out, and she's just standing there proud of, like, the mess that she's made. That everyone around her is just destroying each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good visual.
Yeah, my favorite part is when she
like
has
her,
like the
basically like her being on top of the mountain and everyone around her is like fighting to get to that point. It's a good visual. It's a good metaphor.
Yeah, my favorite part is when, like, she takes at the very end when she takes, like, the papers and just, like, throws them over her head and, like, they just scatter throughout the entire hallway.
Yeah. It's a good scene. But we get Gretchen, Katie, and Karen in the principal's office to discern who actually wrote the burn book.
What's going on?
Have a seat, Miss Heron. Have you ever seen this before?
No. I mean, yes, I've seen it before, but it's not mine.
You better get your story straight, Miss Heron, because I'm not messing around here.
It's not ours, it's Regina's. Yeah, she's trying to make it look like we wrote it, but really, she wrote it.
Miss Wieners, why would Regina refer to herself as a fugly slut? Miss Smith, this is no time to be laughing. We're gonna get to the bottom of this right now.
Maybe we're not in that book because everybody likes us. And I don't want to be punished for being well-liked. And I don't think my father, the inventor of toaster strudel, would be too pleased to hear about this.
Made out with a hot dog. Oh my God, that was one time.
Don Schweitzer has a huge ass? Who would write that?
Who wouldn't write that?
Trey Pack made out with Coach Carr? And so did Sun Jin Din.
Hey, settle down. All right, hey. No, you do not push and shove.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Oh no, I can't answer any more questions until I have a parent or lawyer present.
Miss Smith?
Whoever wrote it probably didn't think anyone would ever see it.
I hope that nobody else ever does see it.
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
Janice Ian Dyke.
Oh, that's original.
You get a function.
Hey, that's only okay when I say it.
Did you write this?
No, I swear.
Then you told somebody.
She told.
You little bitch. You're a bitch.
Yeah, take your top off.
Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
Come quick. They've gone wild. The girls have gone wild.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about the scene is Katie spends most of the movie fantasizing about what would happen if in the quote-unquote animal world, but it's always fantasy scenes. This is the scene where actually the animal world of everyone fighting and really being at each other and being crazy actually has bled into the real world and everyone actually is fighting.
I think we talked about it at the beginning where she has these visions of how people act versus how the animals would act, but now this is the realization, like, there is a breaking point and people will become animalistic and will start attacking each other, and it's really brutal. Like, there's some pretty good stage acting here in terms of just people like throwing each other out. There's some stuff where it's just like
there's some terrible people like half-heartedly slapping at each other,
half slapping, but there's like people full on tackling each other like downstairs and like into like tables and stuff. It's pretty good, but there's some that's just like, oh, you didn't even try. But then we get called to the auditorium and we get a fun Tim Meadows doing his best to try and control him. We realize he needs a woman's touch to help make sense of all of this, and he calls on Mrs. Norbury.
Now what we're going to try to do is fix the way you young ladies relate to each other. Okay? Lady to lady. So who has a lady problem that they like to talk about? Yes.
Somebody wrote in that book that I'm lying about being a virgin because I use super jumbo tampons, but I can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide set vagina.
That was another line that they had they actually challenged. That was something that was going to push them to an R rating, but thankfully Anchorman had come out the year before and had used the same line of a heavy set vagina or a wide
heavy flow and a wide vagina.
Wide vagina, and so Tina Fey was able to say, well, Anchorman was able to use it, and it's a PG-13 film, so we should be able to use it in the context of this. And so that got them. They were able to use the line.
Yeah, I can't do this. Miss Norbury, you're a successful, intelligent, caring, graceful woman.
I am?
There has to be something that you can say to these young ladies, something to help them with their self-esteem.
It's not a self-esteem problem. I think they're all pretty pleased with themselves. Okay, everybody close your eyes. All right. I want you to raise your hand if you have ever had a girl say something bad about you behind your back. Open your eyes. Now, close your eyes again. And this time, I want you to raise your hand if you have ever said anything about a friend behind her back. Open them. It's been some girl-on-girl crime here. Okay, so what we could do today is a couple exercises to help you express your anger in a healthy way. Let's start over here.
Miss Norbury had us confront each other directly about the things that were bothering us. And it seemed like every clique had its own problems.
You've been acting really stuck up ever since you switched to short fielder, and Dawn agrees with me.
Dawn?
Don't drag me into this. I'm pitching tomorrow.
Tại sao mày danh két của tao là mày vậy?
Mày chỉ cứ ghen tại vì mấy thằng con trai thích tao nhiều hơn thôi mày.
Làm ơn đi mày, không dám đâu.
Okay. Good. Can I just say that we don't have a clique problem at this school? And some of us shouldn't have to take this workshop because some of us are just victims in the situation?
That's probably true. How many of you have ever felt personally victimized by Regina George? Good. Okay, who's next?
Who's next?
Katie, do you have anything you want to own up to?
Yes. No.
You never made up a rumor about anybody?
Just that you sell drugs. No.
Nothing you want to apologize for?
I couldn't apologize to Ms. Norbury without getting blamed for the whole burn book. No.
I'm really disappointed in you, Katie.
But we get I think, one of the strongest scenes of the movie of all the girls confessing anytime they may have wronged someone, or at least in the immediate that they've wronged someone, and we get the
trust falls.
Trust falls, and she doesn't even go here, which is always a fun. I think that's still a meme that still exists.
Okay, everybody up.
Miss Norbury had us write out apologies to people that we'd hurt in our lives.
Alyssa, I'm sorry I called you a gap-toothed bitch. It's not your fault you're so gap-toothed.
Gretchen, I'm sorry I laughed at you that time you got diarrhea at Barnes & Noble. And I'm sorry I told everyone about it. And I'm sorry for repeating it now.
Laura, I don't hate you because you're fat. You're fat because I hate you.
I just wish we could all get along like we used to in middle school. I wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy.
She doesn't even go here.
Do you even go to this school?
No, I just have a lot of feelings.
Okay, go home.
That's.
She reminds me of, for whatever reason, she reminds me of Drew Barrymore. I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know.
I just I mean, it's just that joke is just so absurd. That's why it's hilarious. Like, how would a random person stumble upon it? But like, obviously that's why it's funny. It's
right.
like, why would they?
Why was she even there? Like, how did she hear about this? Like did she previously go to the school and transferred, or like?
Maybe it made the news that there was an incident going on at the school.
Friends in middle school, so maybe she attended, like, she was friends with them in middle school and has been transferred.
She just has lots of
school.
feelings.
Like, I don't. It's a joke that doesn't work when you break it down. But
no, but it's so absurd. That's why it's like. But then no one catches Gretchen Wieners.
No one catches Gretchen Wieners for good reason. She doesn't really make a good point to do so. But Janice sort of fully blows the entire plastic sabotage to the surface.
Okay, who's next? Who's next? Keep it going.
Oh my god, it's her dream come true, diving into a big pile of girls.
Okay, yeah, I've got an apology. So, I have this friend who is a new student this year, and I convinced her that it would be fun to mess up Regina George's life. So I had her pretend to be friends with Regina, and then she would come to my house after, and we would just laugh about all the dumb stuff Regina said. And we gave her these candy bar things that would make her gain weight, and we turned her best friends against her. And then, oh yeah, Katie, you know my friend Katie, she made out with Regina's boyfriend and then convinced him to break up with her. Oh God, and we gave you foot cream instead of face wash. God, I am so sorry, Regina. Really, I don't know why I did it. I guess it's probably because I've got a big lesbian crush on you. Suck on that!
I don't think the chanting is earned, honestly. I don't think that character retribution really works for me in terms of, like, suddenly she's accepted by the school and she gets like a carried out chant idea, but it's fine. Like, it's always fun to see, like, the underdog sort of, like, come out on top, at least for a little while.
And Regina is not pleased.
She is not pleased. We get the confrontation as well as the subtle, not so subtle foreshadowing all comes into play by the end.
Regina, wait, I didn't mean for that to happen. To find out that everyone hates me, I don't care.
Regina, please.
Regina, stop! Do you know what everyone says about you? They say that you're a homeschooled jungle freak who's a less hot version of me. Yeah, so don't try to act so innocent. You can take that fake apology and shove it right up your hairy...
And that's how Regina George died. No, I'm totally kidding. But she did get hurt. Some girls say they saw her head go all the way around, but that's just a rumor. Some people swear they saw me push her in front of the bus. That was an even worse rumor.
She got hit by a bus.
She got hit by a bus. They alluded to it several times throughout, but yeah, and again, just picking apart the joke, I have to assume that bus driver was immediately fired and had charges pressed against them. But there's no reason that bus driver should not have at least been slowing down and hitting brakes. It seemed like there was no brakes, there was no slowing down. It was just normal speed, smashed right into Regina, because it just, yeah.
Some people just deserve to be hit by buses.
I don't think she deserved to be hit by a bus. She deserved comeuppance, but not, bodily harm.
Yes, I'm being facetious, yes.
Liar! But Katie gets grounded, but still has to join the mathletes to make up for her math extra credit after taking the blame for the burn book. But spring fling is in effect, but she can't attend.
She has to do math.
Ugh, math is the worst. But in the state championships, Katie gets called to do the final question, and she still can't quite drop her plastics mentality that she's had for so long.
Miss Carolyn Kraft seriously needed to pluck her eyebrows. Her outfit looked like it was picked out by a blind Sunday school teacher. And she had some 99-cent lip gloss on her snaggletooth. And that's when I realized, making fun of Carolyn Kraft wouldn't stop her from beating me in this contest.
Contestants, find the limit of this equation.
Calling somebody else fat won't make you any skinnier. Calling someone stupid doesn't make you any smarter. And ruining Regina George's life definitely didn't make me any happier. All you can do in life is try to solve the problem in front of you.
The limit is -1.
Oh, crap. I lost.
That answer is incorrect. Now, we are in a sudden death. If Miss Heron can answer this problem correctly, we have a winner.
Limits. Why couldn't I remember anything about limits? Limits. That was the week Aaron got his haircut. Oh, God, he looks so cute. Okay, focus, Katie. What was on the board behind Aaron's head? If the limit never approaches anything, the limit does not exist. The limit does not exist!
Our new state champions, the North Shore Mathletes.
How do you like me now? You like that? Yeah! Get some! Get some!
I think that scene's really good. I think obviously there's a slant to this movie that's pretty pro-feminist, and the idea of she has the line of making fun of someone doesn't make you, making fun of someone stupid doesn't make you smarter. That whole line is a lot of fun, and that making yourself ultimately better than someone doesn't really mean anything in the end, and it's just it's really about just how you present yourself versus tearing down someone else and all that. I think there's a good message to this movie inside of a PG-13 teen movie.
Yeah. Be concerned more about yourself than others, and try to make yourself feel better than others. Just focus on yourself. And
I think there's a good idea behind this entire movie. So we get to the spring fling, and we get to learn who the king and queen of spring fling is. Say that 3 times fast.
Who the king and queen of spring fling are.
Good job.
And your spring fling queen, future co-chair of the Student Activities Board, and winner of 2 gift certificates to the Walker Brothers Pancake House, Katie Herring. Where is Katie? There she is.
Wow. Thanks. Well, half the people in this room are mad at me, and the other half only like me because they think I pushed somebody in front of a bus. So that's not good.
No, it's not really required of you to make a speech.
I'm almost done, I swear. To all the people whose feelings that got hurt by the burn book, I'm really sorry. You know, I've never been to one of these things before, and when I think about how many people wanted this, and how many people cried over it and stuff, I mean, I think everybody looks like royalty tonight. Look at Jessica Lopez. That dress is amazing. And Emma Gerber, I mean, that hairdo must have taken hours, and you look really pretty. So, why is everybody stressing over this thing? I mean, it's just plastic. It's really just...
It's a metaphor. She broke the plastic.
Sure.
Yeah. It's pretty
A
awesome.
piece for Gretchen Wieners, a partial spring fling queen. A piece for Janice Ian.
Seriously, most people just take the crown and go.
And a piece for Regina George. She fractured her spine, and she still looks like a rock star.
Thank you.
And some for everybody else.
The plastics are dead. All the cliques are dead. Everyone's reorganized
in the magical world of fake reality.
Well,
cliques don't exist.
Well, I guess cliques still exist, but all the plastics have redistributed into different cliques, and there's more interaction between the different.
Yeah, I still disagree that Regina should be playing a heavy sport like lacrosse.
But it totally fits. She's super aggressive, you know what I mean?
It fits, but she just got over a severe...
She had the summer.
She literally got destroyed by a bus.
She had the summer to recover.
A heavy athletic sport.
Well, lacrosse isn't super... If it was rugby, but lacrosse isn't... I don't know.
She shoulder tackles another girl and then gets tackled by his entire team when she wins.
But I mean, I feel like lacrosse isn't as aggressive as soccer, even.
I disagree, but anyway.
Soccer is definitely more aggressive than lacrosse.
I have never had a spinal injury, and I would never play lacrosse. This lady's had a spinal injury and is happily...
Because she's Regina George.
You're right. Anyway, but yeah, all the cliques, or at least the plastics are broken up, and the cliques are a little bit more accepting of everyone. And, you know, obviously it's a perfect world. Everyone's accepted by everyone kind of idea. But it's a fun little outro for the rest of the movie.
In case you're wondering, the plastics broke up. Regina's spine healed, and her physical therapist taught her to channel all her rage into sports. It was perfect because the jock girls weren't afraid of her. Karen used her special talents to do the morning weather announcements.
Hi, this is Karen Smith. It's 68 degrees, and there's a 30% chance that it's already raining.
And Gretchen found herself a new clique and a new queen bee to serve.
Mà Yun Nhã, Yun Nhi, có nhờ trên, nói về mẹ đó. Cái gì?
Aaron went to Northwestern, so I still get to see him on weekends. And me, I had gone from homeschool jungle freak to shiny plastic to most hated person in the world to actual human being.
Hey.
All the drama from last year just wasn't important anymore. School used to be like a shark tank, but now I could just float.
Regina.
Finally, girl world was at peace.
Hey, check it out. Junior Plastics.
And if any freshmen tried to disturb that peace, well, let's just say we knew how to take care of it. Just kidding.
So after watching it again, I know the Oscars don't respect comedy, but I feel like Rachel McAdams really deserved an Oscar nomination for this performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't want to say this is an underrated film because I feel like that term gets thrown around way too much.
I mean, it was a huge commercial success, so I don't think it's called underrated. But
but I think it's an often forgotten film of its time. I think. Yeah, it's still like memed and it still has a relevance, but I think people have forgotten about it, and I don't think that's entirely fair to the pedigree of the film. I think it's still. I wouldn't necessarily say revisit every year, but I think it is a hallmark of a teenage comedy and a hallmark of just like a PG-13 pro-feminist film. I think it's important. I think it deserves its recognition.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, like a screenplay nomination wouldn't have been out of bounds. And again, Rachel McAdams for supporting actress.
I think if this was post 30 Rock and Tina Fey had already had her 30 Rock nominations and her 30 Rock wins, and then this had come out, I think it would have gotten at least a screenplay nomination based off just name recognition.
It could have been.
Alone.
Screenplay does sometimes go for more left field choices, but it's always like, I mean, if you look at comedies, like literally Melissa McCarthy and Bridesmaids got a supporting actor nomination. Like The Favorite, and like The Favorite is the sort of thing where it was a comedy, but it was a historical whatever. So historical movies, you know, like, I mean, those are like, it's really hard for comedies to get nominations at the Oscars. Like,
it's got to be like a dark comedy to really get noticed.
In the Loop got a screenplay nomination. In the Loop was by Armando Iannucci, who did The Thick of It and Veep. So like that was a straight up comedy, and all it got was a screenplay nomination.
It was hardly a comedy. It was more like a drama.
In the Loop,
is that the one with George Clooney and
no. In the Loop
in the air.
Yeah, that was Up in the Air, which was that was a dramedy. But like In the Loop was like, it was basically the same. So before Veep, the creator Armando Iannucci did a series in Britain called The Thick of It, which was another political comedy. In the Loop was basically like a movie sequel to that series, but it was another basically like acidic satire. So it got a screenplay, but like and that was the thing where it was political. So again, it was political. Like a political movie, I guess, has more heft than a straight up comedy. So it's really hard for comedies
really
to get
the shaft at
like for true straight up comedies. Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess typically most comedies, at least like the comedies I like, are kind of like low hanging fruit. Like they're not exactly saying anything. It really is more for laughs. But it's like, why does that immediately mean that they're not award? Which I'm of the mindset awards are fucking stupid anyway, and they're pointless.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all anyway. It's all just parlor.
But if we're going to be giving awards, like, I would like the stuff that I find funny to at least be nominated to get like up there. But
yeah, well, I mean, I mean, it just depends. Like, yes, like some comedies are just light, and they're not necessarily like they don't have. I mean, if you're only talking about you're nominating 5 things out of all the movies that came out of a year, like obviously things that are dramatic and have more heft. But I mean, like, I don't know, like I just think like. The screenplay is so strong, and Rachel McAdams just gives such a strong performance that it's like, it's, you know, I mean, she just does so, I don't know, she does so much that, anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, the movie has lived on culturally that it goes way beyond any awards recognition.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, at this point, obviously, there's no chance of it getting any sort of awards, but I think its legacy has lasted the stand of time. Again, there's some stuff in here that just is a product of its time. Like, I think they used the R word 3 times. Regina specifically uses it 3 times.
Well, I think it's used to portray her in a negative way.
Right. Yeah, it's used in a high school setting of like that's just how high schoolers talked, and she never specifically directs it at a group. She just sort of says it in passing. Like, she says socially retarded, which at the time was how you described yourself, as just socially inept. You didn't really say socially inept, you just said socially retarded. And she never specifically says anyone is mentally handicapped in that way.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's fine like, if multiple characters were using it.
Right.
Like, then it would be like, oh, like that's kind of whatever. But because it's only her, like, and you're not supposed to think that it's like that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be to the detriment.
Yeah, it's not
the
community saying the word. It's just one person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's not forgivable.
But I mean,
in that context,
it makes sense
in the character, it's like, you're
as a fictional piece of work, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Mean Girls, fantastic. I mean, we've spent an entire podcast glorifying it and glowing and gushing over it. So I think at this point, if you haven't seen it, please go out and experience it.
How have you not seen it?
Yeah, if especially if you're a fan of Tina Fey, you should have already seen it at this point. But I don't think there's much else that we can say. And so I guess if there are any other final thoughts you have on Mean Girls before we wrap this up?
I don't think so.
So thank you for listening to this bulk-sized episode of Go To There. This was a real treat. I'm so happy we got to do this. Thank you for joining me on it. As always, I guess we'll do the quick plugs real quick. Apple Podcasts is the best way to help us out, leaving ratings, reviews, and if you like what we're doing, you can always go to our coffee website, ko-fi.com/go to there. You can donate and help support us and help pay for web hosting and all that fun stuff. The next time you hear Go to There, it'll be back to our normally regular scheduled podcast. We'll be back with episode 18, Fireworks of 30 Rock. So thank you. David, take us out again.
See you next time.
So fetch.